if you have to come inside before you can sweep. And coming inside, there are different routes to coming inside. I have taken a route for coming inside by joining a political party. You too can also join another party if you don't want to join the APC. Whether it's Labour Party, whether it's ADC, join somewhere. And if you don't want to join a party, look for someone who is running for office, support them with your post on Instagram, support them with finances, support them with mobilization. But you can't just sit down in your house and be shouting on Instagram and be doing all that without taking an active step. Other countries, the youths are very conscious. They are very active. They are active citizens. They are everywhere. So we must be active first of all. Then when we are active, then we can now talk about, okay, what do we get and what don't we get? Then whether the youths like the president or the government or they don't like the government, they don't need to like the government, but at least they should trust. They should even be willing to listen to you. They should have that open mind to be able to listen to you. The way it is now, they don't have an open mind to listen. If you tell them something, if you tell them A, they don't even believe you. Once you say something, they will say, with the vote count, they will say, they want to give this contract to this person, they cannot work, I don't know somebody. They are just very cynical. They don't have any trust in the leaders. But I don't blame them for that, because any normal person who has gone through what the average Nigerian has gone through over the past couple of years, it's enough for you to be cynical. And for when a politician tells you good morning, for you to believe it's good night. So I believe in that. I believe that that's the correct situation. But the truth is that notwithstanding, your staying power is what we eventually determine. Because whether we like it or not, the current people in the scheme of things, they are fizzling out gradually. And when they fizzle out, it's those who are left behind that will take over. So no matter what, nature will catch up with you. Either you get old, or you die, or you lose the political power. So you must position yourself. So if we are going to enter politics, we have to be strategic. We shouldn't just think about 4 years or even 8 years. It can be 10 years. It can be 15 years. But you have to start from somewhere. So that's what I see. So I feel like let's even open up. Let's even listen to them. Because in government, there will be some people you like. Even if you don't like any minister in Nigeria, at least you like Oyedele. Me, I like Oyedele. I like the Minister of Interior. But now Oyedele is my number one, followed by Minister of Interior. Those are the two I can remember now. Those are the two that I can still say that are making me feel like they are really pulling their weight significantly. There are others that are above average, but the ones I can really speak about their achievements, which I've verified and I've seen, are those two. So start from somewhere. And in your state too, somebody might run for governor, somebody might run for House of Rep. Come together to support somebody too. So if they win, fine. If they don't win, you move on and you come back again next time. So you don't have to be abusing people online or doing all that and all. So that's what I feel about the youth. Then number 3, will the vote count? Yes, Pastor, you are correct that it is true that in some elections, votes might have been manipulated here and there, because politics is a game of scheming. And when people are desperate to win election, they do all sorts to win. So I wouldn't say that all elections are always free and fair. But I can assure you that votes largely count. Because in 2023, if the president could lose Lagos State, it means that the votes counted in Lagos State. And if not because of the division of votes between Labour Party and PDP, it was very clear that APC didn't stand a chance in winning that presidential election in 2023. If the PDP and Labour Party had come together, they would have given APC a blue and black beating of their life. So you can see that perhaps the opposition did not manage themselves very well. That was why the APC won. Because if it was even true that they wanted to rig, they could have given themselves 40-something% of the vote or 50-something% of the vote. But they didn't do that. But when you have off-cycle elections are usually easier to manipulate than general election. Because when you have an off-cycle election, you can have 10 governors go to that state. You can have all attention focused on this. There can be intimidation. There can be all sorts. So those ones are usually much more problematic. But when you have a general election, everybody is busy in their state. As a president, you are only concerned about your polling unit and your local government and your state where you are. You can't go to Abuja. You can't go to Kogi. You can't go anywhere. And the resources are thin. Policemen are deployed everywhere. So if you are going to rig or do anything, you have to be very careful. So I can assure you now with technology, with the agility of the youth, people are asking questions, people are talking, people are recording. If you are going to rig an election in Nigeria now, you would have to try. You would have to try. And again, another thing, Pastor, that you forgot to also mention is that at times when they rig people out, some of them, they might be good, but some people around them have created so many enemies, so that even those that should speak in your favor or protect you will just say no, they don't want to stand up for you. So if your victory is like 40, maybe 51%, and the opposition has 48%, that will be very dangerous. They can easily rig you out. But if you have a wide margin, no matter how they try to rig, but if it's neck to neck, that one will be very, very difficult. So I strongly believe that elections in 2027 votes will count, and it will be very difficult for anyone to rig that election. I'm very, very sure it will be extremely difficult to rig that election, because the Abuja election, there was voter apathy. People didn't really come out to vote. People didn't really show interest in it. But presidential election, people will come out in large numbers to vote. Some governors will lose, some governors will win, some senators. So if people, because Nigerians are the ones who have the power, they are the ones who will determine whether or not they can win. If you say you cannot win, your vote will not count, then your vote will not count. But if you say your vote will count, your vote will count. So the outcome of that election will be determined by Nigerians. If we say this is the way we want to go, there's no amount of federal government, federal power, international community, or whatever can change anything. If Nigerians say they want APC, no amount of noise making, no amount of international power can change that vote. And they say they want somebody else to, no amount of federal power can change it, because Nigerians are gradually becoming very conscious. And 2023 has shown us that there is hope for the country. Because I told people in 2023 that if I were to be a politician, although I don't see myself as a politician, I see myself as a professional in politics, I will see that 2023 result as a danger zone. It's a red flag, it's a major red flag. If they could mobilize in less than 1 year, people were saying no polling unit, it doesn't have structure, it doesn't have this one, it doesn't have that one. And they were able to come up with this number of votes. This is a major red flag. So we should have gone and start looking for those people and bring them to your corner to say, let's work together. But I feel that 2023 wasn't a fluke. Those who voted in 2023, they will have increased in numbers. So all they need is to come together and decide on where to go to. So I strongly believe that there is hope for the country and election process. There is also hope for the electoral process. Yes, but no matter how, everywhere in the world, there's always some manipulation when it comes to, even in America, they're talking about gerrymandering, changing ballot. In America, they're saying they want ID for voting. They don't use ID. In all countries around the world, there are issues regarding all this voting and all this. It comes with politics. It comes with the terrain. It comes with the terrain. So we can't just isolate it and say it's only in Nigeria it happens. And the rigging of 10 years ago is not the rigging we have now. It's reducing gradually. A time will come when it will be virtually impossible to engage in this sort of rigging.
Okay, we await that time patiently, and we pray that we all will be alive to see it. Amen. You mentioned something. You mentioned something that I want to pick up a little bit, and that was about the optics and the lifestyle and the cost of governance of this present government. Can you expatiate a bit more on that? And if the optics and the lifestyle, the cost of governance, the opulence, the seeming waste, the non-attention to the needs of the common man, both by some parts of federal and a lot of subnational governments, it just seems to be carrying on. Everybody's taking away the plunders of political victory, looting here and there. Corruption still seems to be going on unabated. I'm told that if you want to see some important people in Nigeria, they ask you for the color of your money, even in choosing positions here and there. There's all sorts of things going on here and there. Getting what you may call the Senate or the House of Reps to pass the president's recommendation, again, is a question of negotiation and gerrymandering here and there. These things seem to be happening. They seem to be so obvious. Presidential convoy, unbelievable. You can have up to 50, 100 cars, just following the president up and down. He's going to the airport, 10, 20 ministers are at the airport, seeing him off. He's coming back, 10, 20 are back, seeing him off. London that he went, 6 governors, half the cabinet, all manners of people. I don't know if everybody needs to be there, what they are doing, why they need to be there, and so on and so forth. This thing is costing us a lot of money, a lot of money. Plane fares up and down, hotel booking, extra code, this and that, here and there. What is the benefit of all this spend and all this lifestyle and all this corruption? What's your opinion? What's your opinion? Let's tell ourselves the truth.
Yes, Yes, sir. The president tried to address this. I think there was a time I noticed that I issued a circular regarding the convoys for the minister and all that. But I think more needs to be done because I'm not sure I've seen the implementation of that. I don't know what the effect is. And when I say the optics, what I actually meant was, it would be good. Maybe there's an international conference or something, and they actually even report and say the Nigerian delegation was very slim, which is unusual. Most times when you go for international conferences, they tell you Nigerians, they're always having the largest delegation because governments are always sending a lot of people. Let's even people start reporting and saying, oh, we've noticed a significant change in the way Nigerians are operating in this government. When they came for United Nations and General Assembly, this is what happened. Normally, 100 people come. This time around, we noticed they were just 17 or they were just 15. Like you rightly mentioned, they are in United Kingdom now. How many people, went? How many people usually go for all those kind of foreign things? Then official cars too. I don't understand why people should be buying SUVs as official cars in this kind of economy. I think you can just buy them with Toyota Camry or Hyundai. Let them even know for the first time in history, the federal government is saying every PAMSEC or whatever or government official, we are just buying you a Hyundai, a simple basic car. So we can see that, okay, because if you are telling us to that, okay, things will be hard. When we see our leaders cutting costs, it will be easy for Nigerians to adjust. It will be easy. But when you see everybody going in LS600, 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 almost everybody driving LS600, you start wondering, this is the car that worth almost $200,000. So why can't you just buy a smaller car? That's what I mean by the optics. So if they reduce that, that will also help because Nigerians will start thinking, oh, okay, I look at the governor. Governor is driving this kind of car, Toyota Prado. Wow, this governor, people start talking about you in a different light. Then when you now start talking to them, they now start respecting you, they now start trusting you. But when they see you with all those paraphernalia of office and all those things, it doesn't show like you're cutting cost. So yes, they are doing it in other ways, but I want a direct action where people can easily see that it now becomes a talk of the town, where journalists are writing articles that this has never happened before in the history of Nigeria. In the past 20-something years about democracy, but now we are seeing a minister, he came for this thing with only one civil defense, no aid, no nothing. We saw a minister on the plane, flying economy. This 2 weeks ago, I was with someone and they were telling me that they were on a plane with a former governor and he was sitting there in economy and they were surprised. And it was news to them that a former governor, less than 8 years, economy, and it was not looking fresh anymore. That means he didn't have any money. So for them, it was a news. So we need those kind of news story that, oh, we saw this minister flying economy. We saw this minister, they came to pick him by the airport. He didn't come with 4 cars, just only 1 car. When that news start going about, then we see that, okay, there is a conscious reduction. But we must give it to the federal government. They are trying to cut costs, but they are not cutting it in a way that is visible to the people because seeing is believing. When people don't see something, they don't believe you. If you are cutting the budget, cutting this, they might not necessarily believe you. But when we see direct costs, or you come for a party or they are hosting something and they are not serving food, they are not serving banquet, they just come there and they give you biscuits and bottled water, then people know that, okay, there's a change in governance. Those little things pass messages across. So those are the kind of things that I want them to look at. If they can do that, it will be better. And the governors will be able to also follow suit when the federal government is already doing that. But when everybody is using LS600, 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 it doesn't pass the right message. So that's one thing. If I could talk to the president one-on-one, that's one thing I want him to do. And Mr. President, the president has to have a solid convoy because everybody is after the president. So his security must not be compromised. But a minister, a DG of an agency, a general manager of an agency, a PAMSEC, a director, you don't need all those big cars. Let them give you a Hyundai or a Toyota Camry. Simple. You should not be more than a Toyota. You don't need an SUV, Toyota Camry. And 1 civil defense. You don't need all those entourage of 5 people. SSA, minister has SSA, SSA has SSA, SA has PA, PA has PA. You don't need all that. You don't need all that. So that's what I meant, sir.
Okay, very good. Let's look at the situation and the way forward. And people are going to be asking you questions very shortly, and so on and so forth. Somebody is asking a question about the local government and so on and so forth. Maybe you take that on when the Q&A starts. But let me ask you right now, this is where we are politically. There have been some wins. I'm particularly excited about the exchange rate unification to a large extent, the stability of the Naira, and even its improvement. It's bounced back a little bit, but we'll probably need to do a lot more to see it really raise up its head in terms of freeing our resources and making the place a lot more economically buoyant. But then, of course, the subsidy had to go. Some people are fighting for it to come back for one reason or the other, because of what they're benefiting or what they'll benefit. And thank God for Dangote refinery. You can't rule that out. That has helped us to stabilize our fuel situation and also contributed substantially to the stabilization of the Naira and so on and so forth. I really, really thank God for that this government is reaping the benefit of that. And I think they should quickly move in to see what they can do with the refineries so that if those refineries too are working, then it further improves our options of petrol, and also even the refineries themselves can be exporting and increasing our foreign exchange earnings like Dangote itself is doing. At least now, nobody should be struggling to sabotage them anymore. But going forward, what is the way forward? You know, you're a lawyer, you're an activist, you've been in political fray, you are representing largely the youth, and so on and so forth. So my question is, what can the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu do to show the people that they are serious, they are committed, they are working hard, they really want this government to benefit? So, for example, the youth voted for Peter Obi. They voted for Peter Obi based on certain values and expectations that he presented to them and the way he represented himself. Peter Obi travels economy, travels with only one staff or no staff at all, buys his tickets himself, carries his hand luggage himself, presents himself as an extremely frugal and simple guy, claims to have only one pair of shoes, one wristwatch. His clothes are predictable, up and down black, and so on and so forth. You don't see him throwing garments all over the place. And straight to the point, sharpshooter, and a guy who likes to save money, even though people say that works against him. But nonetheless, what are people expecting from this government? What can they do, for example, that they will win the hearts of the people, win votes without even any kind of buying of votes or manipulation of figures, and that they're in the position to do that. They're in the position to win the hearts of the people. So why don't they focus more on winning the hearts of the people and doing the things that are needed to win the hearts of the people? That's number one. And then going forward, how do you see our political space going to play? One thing this government has successfully done is to win the greatest campaign in the whole history of Nigeria has occurred in this government, whereby about 31 governors now are saying they are members of the APC. You know, what is the reason for that? What has happened to the values they held in the PDP? How come the PDP or whatever party has been so emaciated, balkanized? You have a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a member of a certain party, actively, seemingly working against his party. But like he was a member of the PDP or APC or AD or whatever in Obasanjo's government. He didn't say because he was AD, everybody in AD must now come to whatever it was. He held his ground as a member of AD in Obasanjo's government. He was committed to the government and the Federal Republic, but he was also an undeniable party member. Even Obasanjo's time, all the parties didn't decamp. But now, all of a sudden, this is what has happened. Obasanjo fought tooth and nail, legally or illegally or whatever, to grab the so-called AD states with PDP governors. He fought. He didn't get in there and then tell everybody one way or the other, either through coercion or through threat, that they must decamp. I don't know why this level of decamping. That's number one. And then what is the way forward? You know, how are we going to ensure that come 2027, we get government that the people really, truly will love? Either the government in power becomes extremely lovable, doing what the people want, or a new government comes in that the people love. I don't know what the way forward is and what you think. Maybe you want to speak to that.
All right. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I will share my thoughts on that. I read an article during the last election they had. I read an article in the New York Times that they were talking about Donald Trump, that his political advisors told him that the issue in American election during that campaign season was the economy. But Donald Trump said no, that he doesn't agree with them. That whenever he's talking to the crowd, whenever he's talking to people, whenever he mentions immigration, the face of the audience usually lights up. That's so he sees the energy. And based on that, he kept on hammering on immigration, and eventually they won the election. So, but in Nigeria now, to answer your question now, I believe that the main issue in Nigerian election that the president can actually work on that will get him the love of Nigerians is the economy. It needs to make the economy better. It needs to make it easier for small businesses to thrive. We need to know people that would say, these businesses, these members of our family, their business are thriving based on this advantage in this economy. We need to see that everybody is making more money. We need to see that everybody can thrive. When you see so many people thriving around you, you start and you can trace it directly to the actions of the government. For example, this tax reform, some of it is supposed to benefit small businesses, but those are not direct benefits. Yes, it will help at the end of the year. Their revenue might, they're not paying tax if they are below a particular threshold and all that. But we need direct impacts. For example, now if electricity is better and businesses can thrive, just make the economy smoother for businesses. Young people like to work in tech environments. They like all these hubs, all these tech hub places. How many has the government supported to come up? What can you do for small businesses? Is there a way you can provide internet? Is there a way you can reduce solar? Is there a way they can have the way you are having a loan for student loan? Can you have an arrangement for solar manufacturer for small businesses in which they can pay for a longer period of time and the government will back it up? Can you create mortgage system where middle class can own their own homes? Can you create a policy where people can buy cars on credit instead of buying cars and paying at once? Now we're talking about electric vehicles. We're talking about electric vehicles. We're talking about reducing the importation of vehicles. Can you create a scheme whereby Nigerians can easily own cars? Can you create a scheme whereby health insurance can be better for Nigerians? So just do things that will make Nigerians thrive. Because the reason why most Nigerians are leaving the country is economy. It's because of they feel they don't have good opportunities, economic opportunities in Nigeria. So make it easy for businesses. Make it easy for businesses to be able to run easily and to be able to thrive. Some businesses, they are paying rent of maybe 7 million. Within 2 years, they are increasing their rent to 20-something million. What is the government doing about it? Is there a way to regulate rent for businesses? They can come up with policies that will go directly, because if you help a business owner, and that's part of the reason why I tend to tilt towards Republicans. If I was to be an American, I always support Republicans. Because, when you support businesses, because it's small businesses that hold the economy. If you support a business, businesses have employees. The employees have family members. My organization now, we have about 19 or 20 employees. They have their family members. They too will be helping other people. So if one company goes down, about 200 companies has gone down. So let the government sit down on their own and say, how do we make the economy better for this category of people? Now address it sector by sector. When you do that for the economy, and we can see young people thriving, we know that, okay, this government is doing something right. Let it not be people within the circle. And when you say somebody's name, you can trace it to his father that is a former minister, or his father is a friend of the governor. No, that's not what we're talking about. Let's hear names that no affiliation whatsoever. So if they want to go at it, and the achievement of the government, why it's not being celebrated so much, is that people cannot really say it's affecting me directly. Like, okay, what is the real benefit? I still pay for my lights, I still pay for solar, I pay for everything I need. So what can I say the government has really done for me? So let them come directly and do something that will affect the economy. Then the social welfare scheme, the cash transfer they are doing and all those things, let there be a portal where Nigerians can log into and see, 500 million people have received, 200 million have received. Okay, my local government, I can track the name and see, are there people, this person is not an APC member and he got this amount of money. Let's see all those things, because the government might be giving those money out and it's just going to the hands of some politicians. We might not know. So let's start seeing that direct benefit in our lives. Because when Nigerians make money and the economy thrives, we will be happy. We don't need anything from the government other than security and economy. That's all we need from the government. Security and economy, these are the two things we need from government. So let them look for a way to make things better for the country, for business owners. That's number one. That's the primary thing they need to do, apart from insecurity and providing security. But that economy is the major one. Let them sit down and ask themselves, how many businesses have grown? How many people have we taken from unemployment to employment? How many people have upgraded? How many people used to live in rented apartments and have moved to their own apartment? How many people used to drive Tokumbo cars and now driving brand new vehicles? How many people didn't even have vehicles before and they now have vehicles? How many people couldn't travel to this place before and are now traveling to this place? What are you doing to empower people to improve them? You are giving university students school fees. Also give people employment or technical skills that can make them empower themselves and empower family members. So if they focus on that, and they still have enough time, 7 months is still enough. If they focus on that this year alone, that okay, I want to go for economy directly, focus on Lagos, focus on Port Harcourt, focus on the state, identify the youth who are running businesses, not all these shelf and briefcase businessmen or political businessmen, and look for how you can support them. When you support them, they're going to love you, because I can't thrive in a government and badmouth the government. It's not possible. If we have multiple businesses thriving because of the government doing something for us, we can't badmouth the government. We will be poster children for the government. So that economy directly, and I know they are still going to come to it, because they needed to address the macro issues before addressing the micro issues. So I think now that is where they should focus on economy. That's the only thing they should focus on, and security. Once they do that, Nigerians will start loving them. And the youths, if the youths were well to do, they will not be grumbling. Most of the youths complaining abroad is because of the love for Nigeria. They are angry that I left this country because there was no opportunity. And now I'm in Canada now, and the country is still not changing in this area. So it's that venom of that bitterness that they're using to speak. So, but if you create opportunities and people in Nigeria tell you, as a youth, so I'm getting this opportunity from government, I got this opportunity, I'm doing well, my business is thriving, and all those things, they want to come back. And I can't lie to you, Pastor, some people are coming back. I know a couple of people who told me they're coming back to set up businesses. Someone still came from Canada 2 days ago, my inverter supplier. He said he's coming back next year. That this is where Nigeria, this is where business is happening. As he was in Canada, he's still running his business in Nigeria. And he said, this is where things are happening. He supplies in inverter in Jos, in Ondo State, everywhere around Nigeria. And he's in Canada, but his company is running very well in Nigeria. So I spoke to him and he said, yes, he's going to come back to Nigeria, that place, there's nothing in those countries. So if that kind of small business now, he will need support of the government. If the government can support him and his business can grow bigger, of course, that will be a poster child for the government. So economy is very, very important. And if they focus on that, we can say this is what we have gotten. The same way they are transferring 50,000 naira to people in the grassroots. We don't need 50,000 naira. We need critical infrastructure. Let them build places that people can use as offices and say, okay, young people to this area and this place, go and use those places as offices, or rent in this area. Talk to people, don't go above don't go above this limit. Or create opportunities. Don't just give all the opportunities to people within a small circle. Expand the circle, bring in more people that can, because if more people have businesses, they will need lawyers, they need doctors, they need more people, and they will engage more professionals. But if we give the same small circle, it's those that have been benefiting for the past 20 years that will keep on benefiting, because that circle is small, so they will never go out. So if you don't bring people in, it can't expand. So that's what they need to do. Regarding the second question, what's the question about people decamping into APC and that the government has brought everyone into APC? To be honest with you, Pastor, I won't blame the president for what is happening, because it only shows that the opposition, they are serious. PDP didn't just die this year. PDP started dying since 2007, but people didn't realize it because of the victory of President Umar Musa Yar'Adua in the presidential election. But the truth was that President Yar'Adua said his election was flawed. And in the history of Nigeria, some people believe that the 2007 presidential election is the most rigged presidential election in the history of Nigeria. But PDP started dying in 2007. So what's happened during President Tinubu's time is just their final barrier. They've been dying gradually since. When the President Obasanjo was there, he tried to get Lagos. He couldn't get Lagos. Yes, he got some states in the southwest, but APC got them back. He couldn't get Lagos State. So the opposition then, they were strong. They didn't capitulate. They held their ground. And when it was their time to benefit, they benefited. But PDP, they are not used to, they just believe in money. That's the problem I had with PDP. I was once in PDP. The only problem I had is that everything is money. For them to go from here to here, money. Everything, money. So if you have someone that is driven by money, it's a matter of time before the person will die. Because it's not sustainable. They will never be loyal. If you want to do primaries, there is this money. You want to pay, it's money. So when you run that kind of political system, once they dangle small carrots in front of you, they will jump and they will follow you. So if anybody is blaming the president for what is happening in terms of the campaign, they are being unfair to the president, because the president naturally is an open is open-minded. He likes to have many friends. He cultivates people. Even when he was in opposition, he sponsors, he helps so many people. He believes in the more the merrier. And PDP at some point was like the Ark of Noah. You have both the lion, the leopard, everything, Eventually, the house started fighting against itself. So that one of the leaders of PDP once said in 2005, past late Sunday, Awoni, he said PDP is like a basket of scorpions that they are stinging each other to death. So what Wike is doing, Minister Wike is doing now, is just is like the icing on the cake. It's not the way they've been killing the party since. When all of them came together to say they wanted to support the president in 2023 election, how many Nigerians complained then to say PDP governors were doing anti-party? They didn't complain. In 1979, NPP was part of the government. They had the speaker and they had 2 ministers. So the idea of having a minister from another party has always happened in Nigeria. But Wike is a very ebullious person. He's an aggressive person. So if he's fighting, he's like vengeance. It's a fight of vengeance. Because if the truth must be told, Wike was one of the people who sponsored PDP for years. He was the major financier of PDP for several years after they lost the election. So having financed the party to the level the party got to, for them to now turn overnight and turn him into a non-entity and say they will not listen to him anymore, is going to behave like a headless chicken, and is going to be fighting from all angles. So I don't blame Wike for what he's doing, because most of us who are criticizing him, if we are in his shoes, we'll probably do worse than what he's doing. Why couldn't PDP sack him or suspend him? They can't, because he has all the account numbers. He's bankrolling all of them. So PDP is a party that they didn't have principle. They were not built as an opposition party. The idea of PDP came up in Kirikiri prison when all the politicians were jailed after Gowon Shagari left office. And they all came together and said, we want to form a big party that the military will not be able to take over. We want to have people everywhere. So it was an all-comers affair. But from the first primaries they had, the military took over the party. The generals chose their candidates for them, and they were not happy. They wanted to use Ekweme as their presidential candidate, but the military people said no, they wanted President Obasanjo. So from inception, from the first primaries they did, their objective failed, and they were not following their constitution. And if you have a party that is not following their constitution, removing party chairman anyhow and all that, the party would eventually die. You give money back to people that are not competent to be governor. You give them governors because they have money. So nobody should blame President Tinubu for the death of PDP. It was a death that has been happening since. He only gave them a casket for their burial, but they've been killing themselves for several years. But Nigerians did not notice because they were not paying attention to the nitty-gritty. They were just looking at the optics of it all. So I don't blame the president. If the opposition wants to win the election, they should go and look at the template of APC in 2015 rather. 2 years before that election, the APC was already prepared for the election. They went around, they sacrificed their ambition. President Tinubu could have said he wanted to run for office in 2015, but they chose President Buhari. They never liked President Buhari. They didn't want to work together with him, but they saw that it was the best route for them to get to the presidency, and they sacrificed their ambition for him. The current set of opposition leaders, are they willing to sacrifice their personal interest? Everybody wants to be president. Is that how you want to win an election? Now we are doing membership drive. All the youths that voted for you in 2023, where are they now? You are not even mobilizing them to register. How many people have registered on your platform? APC has 10 million members that have registered online. How many people have they registered? I personally, I mobilize a lot of my people to register on APC as members of APC. How many people have the ADC people gotten? How many offices do ADC have in all the wards in Nigeria? PDP they had offices in all the wards in Nigeria. So they are not serious. And it's unfortunate for the opposition because President Tinubu is a strategist. He's a dangerous strategist. And that's not the kind of opponent you want to have in an election. This is someone who got the ticket of the party when the president and his people were against him. And now he has power. If there's anything he knows how to use very well, he knows how to use power. So when you have that kind of person as your opponent, you must put on your thinking cap. You must go and hire strategists from America, from London, and in Nigeria, gather them in a room and pay them for 1 year to be coming up with ideas for you to implement. But all this noise making and all these things, President Tinubu has worked further than that. So for them to win him, they need to be more strategic. Because President Tinubu was very patient. How many people have they brought up? President Tinubu has some people with him that have been with him for the past 30 years. You always see them around him. And some of these people are still fighting him, but he's gathering his people, he's expanding his coast. What are they doing? Opposition politics is not something that you just come on air and be making noise. You must go to the grassroots. You must mobilize. You must register. You can't just be granting interview and be saying the president is making Nigeria a one-party state, the one-party state. When PDP were 28 governors, people said Nigeria was a one-party state. NPN, people said Nigeria was a one-party state. So this idea of one-party state is not something that is new. It's a lazy approach to responding to those sort of issues. Yes, I don't dispute the fact that the government will use its power to try and bring in people and all those things. But if you are principled, they shouldn't bring you for money. I am in Osun State. I'm from Osun State. As far as we're concerned, when I left PDP was the government in power in Osun State. But I resigned to join the opposition in my state. So that's not moving from opposition to winning party. No, we are opposition in our state, so we left. So some people will not move because of money. But anybody who moves because of money or because of personal interest, don't blame the APC for your shortcomings. Go and strategize, gather yourself together, mobilize Nigerians, and tell them your plans and see whether they will vote for you or not. But to start accusing, of course, the APC will not want you to succeed. It's a game of numbers. If they have their way, they don't even want you to have a party to contest in the first place. So as a politician, you should be aware of that they will come and cause problem in your party. So for you will have mentioned and say, who are our leaders? Let's make sure that there are people that cannot be penetrated. When Jonathan was going to use PDP chairman, he said, I want a PDP chairman that cannot be bought. And he went to go and bring out Bamanga Tuku because Bamanga Tuku was a former governor and he's a billionaire. He said, I don't want a party chairman that the governors will pocket. So if you are forming an opposition party, you need people around you that are not hungry. Not people that the government will give them contract of 20 million naira, 50 million naira, and they will start giving you all their secrets, or they will start betraying you or trying to start issuing press statement against you and all that. You look for credible people. I'm sure, Pastor, if you are in a party in AGC, I'm sure there's no way of they can, no matter how much, if anyone offers you all the money in the world, you will never decamp. If you are in a party, they can't buy you because of money. So let them go and do their scouting, look for credible people, gather themselves together, mobilize Nigerians, sell their message to Nigerians. And if Nigerians believe in them, so be it. But instead of doing that, they are busy crying up and down and making noise that it's a one-party state, it's one-party this. No, it's not right. Opposition politics takes a lot of work, a lot of effort. I mean, I've run against an opposition party before, so I know what it means. You have to do a lot. If the party in government is working for 5 hours per day to win their election, as an opposition party, you must work 15 hours per day. So the advantage of opposition party in government has is that they have resources from the government. But you can crowdfund. Reach out to many people. Reach out to many people. If you register 1 million, if ADC registers 1 million Nigerians and they say everybody should pay 1,000 naira as party membership dues, that's a lot of money. Of which some people can give 10,000 naira. So you also have your own advantage. But it takes a lot of work. Tinubu has been preparing for years. You can't just come and say you want to win in 1 year. Scientifically, it's not possible. Logically, it's not possible. Unless maybe spiritually, it's possible spiritually, I agree. But scientifically, you have to show us your workings. So they need to get more serious, and they still have some time to get more serious. Sacrifice your ambition, personal ambition, push out the credible option. If you push out someone that does not have any credibility, you're going to make the victory of Tinubu easier than 2023. So it's a lot of work. They need to think. They need to approach people like you to say, okay, Pastor, guide us. Who should we give? Where should we zone our ticket to? Who should we appoint? Not personal interest. And you give them, and they should comply with the memo you give to them. But other than that, Tinubu will flog them silly, blue-black. Because it will flog them blue-black.
Thank you so much. Let me yield the floor to people who want to ask questions. Thank you so much for your passion, for your candor, and for your understanding of resources situation. I pray for you that you make a great success of your political work, and you be a man of great influence in this nation.
Amen.
And you'll be one of the builders of the bridge. And by that time, your generation will begin to really build a wonderful Nigeria. Let me ask Jumoke and Sonny to take over the Q&A and see what questions people have. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Pastor, and thank you, Faruq. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks, Pastor. Good to see you
Nice,
again, sir.
nice to have you back on the
Always a pleasure, sir.
platform. I like the pattern as usual, but I hope, we saw what happened to Boala when he went to Al Jazeera to do head-to-head. Uh, the way you are speaking very passionately about Tinubu, yesterday you were in the opposition, and today you have joined the APC. So when you are talking about lazy politicians not blaming Tinubu for what is happening in their party, I think what you fail to add is that the option is they should join APC, because I think that's the easiest route now for all politicians. Everybody is joining APC. That's just what it is. And you are saying we shouldn't blame Tinubu. Well, we'll not blame him, but we know where the power is coming from. There's nothing happening that he doesn't know. You yourself have said he's a strategist, and we want to believe he's a strategist, so he knows what is happening and what he's doing. But I will allow the people to field their questions. I have a few questions for you, but if there's still time, I will take my own questions. So we have Ngozi, um, who is ALG Town Hall. You have to let me know your name.
My name is Henry Kentabe, joining from
Okay.
Toronto, Ontario.
Please put your name. All right. Jeff and Abubakar, I will take the four hands. You know the drill. So we'll take these four questions or comments, and I will allow you to respond. Our target is to end at 6:30. So let's keep it short. Let's go directly to our questions, and I hope, Faruq, you will also keep your answers short.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Ngozi, start with you. Unmute yourself. Allow Ngozi to unmute, please. Ngozi, are you there? Faye. Okay, Kantebe, go on.
Yeah, Barrister Farouk, thank you for joining us. My name is Henry Kentabe. I'm joining from Toronto, Ontario. I wouldn't want to dwell so much on your political views, because I don't expect anything less from you. The Nigerian situation is so challenging. The reason why the people are moving to Tinubu is because they don't believe free and fair election is going to be held in 2027. So it's just as simple as that. That's why they are moving to it. And we can't expect a presidential election to be free and fair in Nigeria because it takes 5 days to announce that result. Between that 5 days, people must have done a lot of things will have changed hands. So I don't want to go too much into that. I just want to talk about the policies. And I have objection about some of those policies. You say we are going the right direction, which is not. We are not. Which is not true. The forex that has stabilized is because of Dangote. INEC cannot conduct a free and fair election in Nigeria as it stands. And in the area of subsidy that you said, it's just because of our level of thinking and our level of exposure. You know, you subsidize production. Every developed society subsidize production. You know, I don't expect Nigeria to do anything less. Unfortunately, it's just because of our level of thinking. As I said, level of exposure, we think we should remove subsidy and we expect the people to live in abundance. It's not going to happen. And on the LG reform that you said everybody has applauded, well, it's unfortunate. You don't, autonomy is not about just giving money to the local government. It will just end up as they have done to the state, and it's going to be wasted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it's just a comment, and we'll take your comment. Jeff, or is Ngozi ready now?
Yes, she said you couldn't unmute her. That she's not. The system is not allowing them to unmute. That's what Ngozi said.
Faye, please allow her to unmute. Jeff, can you unmute? What of Abubakar? Let me see if I can even allow you to unmute. Okay, Ngozi, try to unmute now.
Yeah, it worked. I've been trying to unmute since the beginning.
Okay,
It's just,
yeah.
it won't allow me. Says the host is not allowing. Hello, everyone. This is Ngozi. I'm speaking from the United States. My question to Mr. Faruq, thank you for your presentation, is if I think a short while ago, the government budgeted 10 billion for to install the solar system in Aso Rock. And I think a little over a week ago, my sisters were telling me that the government official came out and announced that they were going to switch to from the national grid to the solar system for Aso Rock completely. So my question is, how does this show any commitment to fix the power problem in Nigeria? Without power, how can you have productivity? How can you help small businesses and all of these things that you are saying the government should do? How is that possible without power? And how is the government removing itself from the national grid showing any commitment to fix this problem? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll just add to that. And Farouk, remember the president said, if I don't fix power,
Yes, sir.
when I come for second term, don't vote for me. So has he fixed power? Should we vote for him when he comes for second term? Let's ask Jeff. So Farouk, you got those two questions?
Yes, sir.
All right. Jeff, go ahead and ask your question. Please be brief like Ngozi. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Barrister. Barrister, he was once an opposition. He just moved to APC, and he said so many things against the opposition. And one thing you should know, my people said, when you sought married women, your mother is included. So that is it. And one thing, the appointment of the former NH chairman, Yakubu, is not too clear to me. Is there a way of compensating him? I know he's qualified for everything in this country, it's in Nigeria, but is there a way of compensating him for 2023 work well done? Thank you.
Thank you very much for being very brief. Okay, let me allow you to take those three quickly, and or the two questions rather, and one comment.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'll come to the others. Yeah,
okay,
go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'll start from Jeff. The issue of insulting opposition. Well, I didn't insult opposition. I just told you a statement of facts. So, and I didn't just decamp. Like I mentioned, that's what I clarified. I'm from Osun State. I'm in Osun State. In Osun State, when I left PDP, what I didn't mention to you was that I was holding an office. I had a political office. I resigned from my appointment. I resigned from the party. So my case of decamping wasn't a case of because of Tinubu or because I was scared of free and fair election. In our state, we've always been in opposition. And in case you don't know, maybe Pastor didn't mention it when he read my profile. In 2019, I was a candidate for a general election. I ran as an opposition candidate. So I've been an opposition person for over 7 years. But when I saw the way things were going, particularly in my state, the dynamics, I discovered that this is not a system where I find myself in. And I believe I've been justified, I've been vindicated rather, because I left the party over a year and a half ago. So the experiences that I had witnessed, which is why I told Pastor that I don't blame President Tinubu for what happened to PDP. Those of us who were inside, we knew it was a matter of, it was inevitable because we knew what was happening. Comparing APC to PDP, the only difference, PDP zone is using money to buy the ticket. APC zone, the leader will can just say, this is the person, they will give an order and you follow. So those are the two differences. So it's not a matter of insulting, it's a matter of stating facts so that those who want to set up parties in the future will learn how to run a proper political party. Because if those of us who have this experience don't share our knowledge, some of you will go to those parties or you go and you make the same mistake and we keep on rambling and just speaking without taking any lessons from it. So your comment about insulting married women and to affect your mother is inapt. And I don't think is relevant to the subject of discussion what we're talking about. So that's about that. Regarding the appointment of Yakubu by the president, is there a way to compensate him? I don't think it's a way to compensate him. One thing we need to know is that all Nigerians are open to having appointments. If you have the competence and you have the capacity, I don't see any reason why they should not give you an appointment if you are available for it. Unless if you know you did something wrong or you committed a crime or something, charge him to court for it, penalize him for it. But just because he served as INEC chairman and because the results he gave, you don't find it favorable, you now say based on that, he should be blacklisted. Will you also support the fact that if he goes to the hospital, the doctor should not attend to him? If he goes to the supermarket to buy something, they should not attend to him? I don't think that is a fair approach. Yes, he was the INEC chairman. It doesn't stop him from being a Nigerian. It doesn't stop us from employing him. If I have the capacity to employ him, unless I believe that I didn't do very well, unless I believe that I rigged the election. Unfortunately, in 2023, I didn't vote for President Tinubu. And even when I was in opposition, I've always said it that he's a man of strategy. And my philosophy is, you can quote a bad author, and even a dead clock is correct twice in a day. So I won't say because I'm in opposition, I will not respect those that are in opposition, in the other party. No. Even when I was in PDP, I have people in APC that I respect. Governor Mba, Patrick Mba, was my favorite governor up till now. And he was in PDP, just to come to APC maybe some months ago. And I tell everybody who cares to listen, Patrick Mba, Sheyi Makinde, Alex Oti. I love those governors. Then Sanwo-Olu, yeah, he's trying. But Patrick Mba is my number one Enugu State governor. I love him so much. But he was not an APC governor until some weeks back. So that's to answer your question. Regarding Madam Ngozi's question on power and productivity, fantastic question, brilliant question. When I answered Pastor Ighodalo's question the other time, and I said the government should do something that will benefit everybody in terms of the economy and all that, if they can solve the power problem, it's going to help us. It's going to help us because so many businesses spend several millions of naira on diesel, paying for electricity that is not constant. So something that can cut across everyone is power. It's power. So if the government does that, because it will help productivity, people can go to the offices on Wednesday, on Friday, they don't need to buy generator, they don't need to buy solar. I mean, I know how much I invested in solar in my office. It's a lot of money. So if I had to use that money and use it to pay salaries, my business will go better, or to employ more staff, my business will go better. But I have to invest that money in solar. And so many other people are investing in diesel and all that. So you are very correct. If the government can go directly after power, that will help us. Then regarding the president going to off-grid to solar, I agree with you. The optics doesn't seem right. I always tell people, even when I was in opposition, that if I become a governor of a state, I will tell my commissioners that your children must attend government schools. If you have children in secondary school in my state, they must all attend government schools. If your children cannot attend government schools, you will not serve in the government. Because if you don't experience these things, you won't pay attention to it. If you don't have children or you have your brother's children in this government school, you don't even know what is happening in that school. I read a book recently, former commissioner for education in Kwara State, Bolaji Abdullahi. He said when he was commissioner for education, he went to a school in Kwara State. And when he asked one of the students that, do you know who Bukola Saraki is? They said, yes, that is a local government. It's the name of a local government. He said primary 6, they could not even read. He was crying that, what are they teaching us? What are they teaching our students in this school? They don't know anything. If you didn't go to that school, how many commissioners go to primary schools to go and interact with the students? So if you don't experience these things, you don't know what people are going through. So I agree with you that the optics does not seem right, because if the Aso Rock is always having lights every time to solar, you just think that Nigerians are not suffering from light, and you will not remember to pay attention to it. But if you're also suffering the consequences that which we are suffering, that they will take light today, they will take light tomorrow, they are running gen and all that, But I know the government did that to save cost, but it's still the optics, because as the government, we should depend on our own power, So I agree with you that the optics doesn't seem right, and it would be good if the president can fix the issue of power. Then Pastor Enebi said, the president said, don't vote for me. If it doesn't fix power. Unfortunately, I'm not a spokesperson of the government. Unlike Bwala, I don't work for the president. I'm not an official spokesperson of the president. So I'm not sure I can respond to that. And I'm sure in the course of the campaign.
You're pleading the fifth. That's okay. No problem.
I'm sure in the course of the campaign, people will have the opportunity to ask the president this question, or they can ask Bwala, and Bwala will answer the question, but I can't answer. Then Henry gave comments. Henry didn't ask any question. He disagreed with me. It's all right. Everybody can't agree. We can't all be on the same page. That's the beauty of democracy. You have your own views. I have my own views.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for your responses. There are so many hands, and I would just like to go through them. If you also can keep the answers short, so that we can
Yes,
get
sir.
in all those questions. Abubakar is the next person. Abubakar, I've asked you to unmute.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me. I want to ask
Please,
Barrister.
be brief.
Okay. I want to ask Barrister. You know, the electoral reforms that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did, we still need some reforms. You know, the electoral voting system is the best electoral system, and up to now, Nigeria, we have not gotten up to that reform. So how do you think youths or the government or anybody can, encourage government to bring something, stuff like that, the electoral voting system? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Electoral or electronic? Did you mean electronic?
Well, I guess the question is just what do you think about the reforms of the electoral reforms that were made? If you can be brief on that. Let me ask Dauda Ayuba to unmute. Please be very brief, like Abu also.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Dauda, go ahead with your question.
Okay. My question is on the presenter talk about local government autonomy. So
your volume is very low. Can you speak up, please?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. A bit better, yeah.
Okay. So I said the presenter or Barrister Faruq talk about local government autonomy. So I just want to know which law did the Supreme Court use as the basis of their judgment on local government autonomy, given the fact that we have a state local government joint account, which is also a constitutional provision. Thank you.
Okay, did you get that?
Yes, I did.
All right, thank you. I would go to Samuel. Samuel, unmute. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. Yeah, thank you, the guest. So the question is, you made mention of Nigerians don't pay taxes. What do you think is the problem for the government to make sure that we pay taxes? Well, mind you, even in the developed countries, people still evade tax, but the majority pay their taxes one way or the other. So in Nigeria, what is the real issue? Because we always talk about government having difficulties in implementing their agendas. But in Nigeria, Buhari has the parliament. Tinubu has the parliament. What is stopping them in making sure that we have stable electricity, we annex our documents, integrating our passport with driver license, and making sure that the people that has account is the same person. The TSA, treasury account, is signified to a person. We can identify them. What is the problem? What is causing those things that we continue lamenting, having problems, and we can't resolve? When they have the parliament, they have the Congress, they have the numbers. So what is blocking them? What is making the interior minister working with the other ministers to make sure that things are done? So what is the major thing that is causing all these things? And secondly, the decapping, people decapping from one party to another. Is there any constitution that impede people to not to decamp? Like you said you are in a government where you resign and you move to the other party. Because I was thinking that there should be a statutory regulations for every party members that if you are elected as a governor under AAC, for example, for the next 4 years, you can't decamp because the party has an agenda for which they voted you to go and implement. So now when you decamp to another party, how will you implement such things? And those things set us back in Nigeria. That is why we don't have the continuity of those good agendas. So I don't know, is there anything? Because I was saying this thing 3 days ago on Twitter. Some youth were asking me that if I have to put such an agenda in the statutory, that is to say I'm against the constitution of Nigeria that gives liberty to anybody to move wherever they want. So I'm having issue there. Thank you. Because I have a lot.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Faruq, take those three quickly before I.
Okay, yes. So regarding the issue on the campaign,
I will stop with Professor Nike Grinch. Please, I will not be able to take any more questions after that because we have to force. Yeah, go ahead.
So regarding Samuel's question, regarding the campaign, yes, there is a provision of the constitution on the campaign that yes, you should lose your seats when you decamp, unless you can only decamp unless maybe there is a faction in your party. But why that has not been enforced is that you have to go to court and it's a very long process and all of that. So it's actually in the Constitution, and I agree with you that there should be a stronger mechanism to prevent that from happening, because I don't think it's appropriate that people vote you into office based on a particular party and you now left to another party with their mandate. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right, because if we voted for you on this party, then if you are going to decamp to another party, then you should lose that mandate that you held, because on the day of the election, your name was not on the ballot. It was your party's name that was on the ballot. So, and I think it's too cheap for a party to just have a governor without an election. So a governor, APC, PDP won an election as a governor. Then after 3 months, it decamped to APC. That's like free of charge. That's like is a weak victory for APC. So I don't think I like that, because I like something you fight for and you earn. So I agree with you, but we have that provision in the Constitution. Then what is the problem to make sure people pay taxes? Yes, people evade taxes, even avoid taxes, not evade, even in advanced countries and all that. It's also part of the lack of trust between the governed and those governing us. If there is a lot of trust in the system, then more people will pay their tax. But people believe that, what's the government doing for me? After all, I'm the one who pays everything for myself. So that connection, that synergy isn't really there. So I'm sure by the time the government is more transparent and engaging the people more and making them see the benefits of paying tax and being accountable to them, then I'm sure more people will start having belief in the government, and they will start seeing it as an obligation for them to start paying their taxes. Then Mr. Dowda said, which law did the Supreme Court use in giving judgment on local autonomy? Yes, it was the Constitution. And the Supreme Court itself, once they give a judgment, is like a law on its own. They analyzed the various provisions of the Constitution, and they also looked at, because the Supreme Court is more of a policy court than a court based on law. And they looked at the arguments put forward by the Attorney General of the Federation, and they looked at everything that has been happening. And they said, no, if the money for state goes to state, money for local government goes to local government. A situation whereby the state will be controlling the money for local governments is against the spirit of having government at the local level. So let everybody have direct access to their money. So once the Supreme Court makes that kind of pronouncement, it's final. And that is essentially what they've done. Mr. Abubakar said electoral reforms. What are my thoughts on electoral reforms? To be honest with you, the electoral reforms, most people are talking about electronic transmission of results. Results should be transmitted immediately, and they should not create any room for physical recording of the vote, and they should not rely on transmission alone. For me, I don't have any comment on that. I'm not really concerned about that, because why I'm not concerned about that is that, as an operator on the field, I know how elections are conducted. There is no polling unit where you have a polling agent where you are not given a result sheet. If we have 10 polling units in my ward, after the election by 5 p.m. latest, I will have the result sheets for all the units in my ward. If they go to the ward collation center and they change the results there, by the time you have your results, it's easy for you to document all these things. So if I have the results in my polling unit and you tell me that APC scored 100 votes, but when they went to the collation center, they changed to 2,000 votes, I have my result sheet that I can use to disprove that. So for me, yes, IRF is very good. I use IRF, I use it to monitor the results. But for me, I don't mind, as long as I have my result sheet, because for me, I prefer the result sheet that I can hold. Because in the Osun State election, people are not talking about that issue. In the Osun State election, INEC produced 2 reports on the portal. They said one has synchronized, one had not synchronized. So it now became an issue of which of the reports of the IRF should the court rely on? Is it the one that was synchronized or the one that was not synchronized? So when you talk about, if you want to rely on online alone, the kind of problems we are going to have, you don't even want to imagine it. So for me, the only snag I have with the electoral reform is that I didn't like the fact that they remove direct primaries. Indirect primaries rather, that they only made it consensus or direct primaries. I would have loved indirect primaries to also be there. But I understand that maybe because of the monetization of the elections, that's why they removed it. But I really don't understand what the business of the electoral people are to be thinking about how a party decides to appoint their candidate. I feel like you should have left that indirect primaries as well there. But for me, the electoral reforms, I just think it's just basic. I don't see anything very, very fundamental in it. That's my own personal opinion. Others might have something different. Then Mr. Jeff, okay, yes. I think I've answered out the question, Pastor Enedi.
Yeah. I think you have. Let's move quickly. We have Abraham. Abraham, please, very brief. Go ahead with your question. I've asked you to unmute. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So, my question is this: the speaker himself has spoken about him camping to another political party. But he seems not to be telling us what is the motivation. Is it a particular ideology? Because all his analysis has centered on the person of the president. Since most people be talking to the APC based on the strategy of the president. So, is it possible for us to play ideological politics rather than politics that depends on individual tactics and strategy?
Okay, thank you. Let me ask Ismaila. Go ahead. I don't know who user is, so I've asked Ismaila Akim Babatunde to go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ismail Akim Babatunde from Lagos. So my question is about energy. Based on the last question we got, that the Aso Rock has been powered with solar. I'm also a renewable energy professional, so I understand the started between this. But my only concern is, if you are powering the Aso Rock, you're also powering the university that's under the federal government. Because if you look at it under REA, all the universities that are under the government has been power, which indirectly is telling us that the government are removing their own entity from the grid. So if they are removing their entity from the grid, so what happened to the common man? That's my first question. Then the second one is, based on my experience, we have done some job for industry whereby the foreign country are the ones financing the project. Is there any financing plan? If government is tilted towards renewable, probably to have a competition with the grid, is there any plan from the government to support the masses, probably to have a finance on their project as well, or probably on their individual work, so that everybody can have access to this power? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Paul, unmute and ask, please, straight and direct. I've asked you to unmute, Paul.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm glad you allow me to talk. The gentleman was talking that if he was in America, he would be a Republican. My question to him is that, has he ever lived in America? Does he understand the Republican philosophy? There is something that we call DEI. DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. What happens? Okay, maybe I can have a chat with you. Do you know what the DEI does?
Can we have a question, sir? I understand where you are going, but let's not make it about Republican policy. Ask a question.
No.
Yes.
No. He was saying that he was talking about if he was in America, he'd be a Republican.
No, forget that, please. Ignore that, please. Just ask your question.
Okay. My question is this. The problem with Nigeria that we have is that we do not know how much our legislators make. We have no idea. There's supposed to be transparency. If you go to any website, you can go there, you type it in the US, it tells you exactly how much they make. And also, what we are also doing wrong is the constituency allowance, where they give all these governors and senators money. We don't know how much they give them. We don't know how they spend it. We have the technology even if they stop it, we have the technology where they could just say they gave them so many billions of naira, and this is what they did with it. In any society, in any governance, they do not give money to the senators to spend. And another thing is that Nigeria is due for a constitutional review. In the US that we adopted, the senators are voted to be a senator from the whole state, not a certain area. What we have in Nigeria, we have state senators being disguised as federal senators. So our concept of the constitution is totally flawed and wrong.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your question. I hope you got that. I mean, mostly comments, but
Yeah.
he's talking about the constitution that is flawed and how much do legislators earn. If you know, maybe you can tell us.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Can I answer now, Pastor Nibi?
Yes, please answer, and then I'll take the last two. But be very brief
Okay.
with your answer, quick, please.
Yeah, so regarding
because we are
constituency projects, I think a lot of Nigerians mix this up. Government doesn't give any senator or House of Rep member constituency project. They've stopped doing that a very long time ago. So what they do is they allocate projects to senators. So those projects are given to, and House of Rep members, they are given to various agencies and ministries. But the House of Rep members or the senators are the ones that will nominate the project and nominate the contractors, but they don't get the money directly. But that
is the same now. What's the difference?
But that approach is also
usually
not
you
right.
won't do the work yourself now.
Yes,
so
that approach is also
they are
not
the ones that do it.
Yes, that approach is also not right, because you see somebody giving a Department of Fishery a contract to build a library. What is the business of Department of Fishery with building library? So it's like it encourages racketeering and all those kind of situation, but they don't collect the money directly, and that's not also right, But so I agree with you regarding that. But in terms of monitoring, there's this thing called budget tracker. Budgets, they have a website where they follow through on those projects. They called me before. There was a time they called me and said, "We understand you are from this area. Do you know, we want to find out this project, has it been done?" And I gave them information. And I called my House of Rep member to say, "These people have called me about this project and this," and so they track it. And I follow them religiously, and they give me information that this House of Rep member collected this project 2 years ago. It has not been done. And they call you out. So if you have data too, you can also reach out to them. So I think they are really trying in that regard. Regarding their salary, yes, I know it's a bit opaque. People don't really know how much they earn, but I think they earn about maybe 13 million. Senators, House of Rep, it's 8 million. But their salary is not the issue. They have so many allowances that nobody knows anything about. So the salaries, it's easy for you to know the salaries. Everybody knows their salaries. The Revenue Mobilization Allocation Committee talks about their salaries. But their allowances, nobody hears about that. What do they take when they travel abroad, when they are traveling to their constituency and all those things? We don't know. And I agree with you, there should be transparency. There should not be any hidden salary or allowances. We should know what you are earning. But I don't know the reason why that has not been opened up enough. Ismaila talked about financing plan for solar. I also mentioned that when I talked about what the government can do for businesses. If they can create a financing plan for maybe solar for businesses and all that, it's going to help a lot of businesses, and that will also help the solar installers and manufacturers to also expand their businesses and all that. So I mentioned that if something the government can look into, that would be good. Then Abraham talked about ideological versus individual politics. When you talk about ideological politics in Nigeria, I think we are still far away. We are still far away because the two major parties used to be PDP and APC. APC are progressives, PDP are conservatives. But other than the nomenclature of what they call themselves and the manner in which they select their candidates for offices, I don't really see any significant difference in the two. So we have not really gotten to that stage where we can say, if you believe in this sort of philosophy, you belong to this party. Yeah, you can be a progressive, but the fact that you are a conservative does not mean that you don't have some progressive elements and all that. So our politics in Nigeria is not about, we have not got to that ideological. Unfortunately, it's sad, but eventually we're going to get to that level. So we haven't gotten to that level yet. Then the issue of decamping. When people decamp, Nigerians who don't know the story just assume that everybody decamp maybe because of money or because of wanting. No, there are actually instances of legitimate decamping. If you are in a party and they don't carry you along, or the government does not want to see your face, or they are putting people who are supposed to be below you ahead of you, or they are not listening to you, or your contribution is not being valued, and you want to remain in the political space, you have to decamp. Or what are you going to do? You are in a party where you give advice, they don't listen to your advice. You tell them what you are doing is wrong and they don't listen to you. And they don't call you for meetings. What do you do?
We are talking about governors, so it's not small fries. We are talking about the people
Sir,
in
even
charge.
governors, sir, even some governors decamp not because governors in PDP who decamp to APC, you can't blame them. PDP today, they are still in court about their structure. So what do you want the governor to do? He should go to a weaker platform. A governor is in PDP. PDP has two factions, and he's going to do primaries between April and May. And you want him to remain in that party. If he remains in that party, which party is he going to contest under? All his followers, where are they going to contest under? A governor is in PDP that is a dominant party, and he wants to decamp. You think he will decamp to a new party that's not won any election, ADC? You will not do that. It's easy to pontificate about these things theoretically. If you, Pastor Inebi, if you are in PDP today and you need to decamp, you will move to APC. Because someone in a big fish, in a big party, only goes to a big party. You only go to a small party if there is no space in the bigger parties anymore. That's the whole idea of the camping. I can't leave a big place and now go to a small pond, a small party that has not been tested. I won't jeopardize the future of my supporters and my political future. You won't do that. So some of them is not about money or what have you. No, they just need to survive politically. They have followers too. But there are some that, of course, you know that this one is a case of personal interest, selfish interest. And like I mentioned earlier, what's the person's name? Is this Samuel? I can't even remember. Like I mentioned earlier, Abraham, yes. Like I mentioned earlier, I was holding an office and I resigned. And I decamped to another party, and I've not gotten any office to date, and I'm not running for any office in 2027. So most people, they decamp because they want to contest. Maybe they lost primaries in a party, then they want to go to PDP to go and get tickets and all that. I didn't run for office in 2023, and I'm not running in 2027. So if I decamp, are you going to tell me that I decamp now because of I want to run for office or because of an appointment? I've not gotten one.
Okay, let's take the last two questions. Yes. Thank you. So, Yemisi Ransom Kuti and Yemisi, go ahead and unmute yourself.
I didn't hear my name before, so I thought you were going to give me a miss again. Good to see you all. Yes, just a couple of quick things. My view on the solar thing that the presidency did, I think it was a signal to Nigerians that we cannot depend on the national grid. We all have to begin to think, even abroad, they're encouraging their citizens to build solar or any other biomass, to produce energy, which they even sell to the state. I'm sure, Pastor Sonny, you can tell people about schemes like that. We all have to begin to think out of the box. They cannot fix the national grid the way it is. And we must begin to talk to our state governors. It has been decentralized. The state governors now have responsibility to produce energy. Now, my question to our dear speaker, thank you very much for all the passion and wonderful things you have said. I would like your views about how we can reduce the divisions and toxicity that we are seeing in our politics. People attacking each other, abusing each other. Our culture in Africa is Ubuntu. It is family. It is, and then maybe the one-party state. Everybody should please laugh and not get too upset about it. The one-party state is a solution. If we're all in one family, maybe we can solve our problems more effectively. And finally, can you please let us have your views about how we can organize more effectively at the local government level so that we can engage more effectively and get good governance and inclusivity is more effective at the local, because that is where we all live and impact, and the foundation for the development we want at the state and federal levels can be built. Thank you so much for all that you have done. And thank you, Pastor Sonny, for
thank you very much
leading the charge. It's good to see.
Thank you for that robust defense of Aso Rock. That they are moving green.
Yes, it's not a defense. It's just throwing out alternative ideas. Whenever I hear something, I always try to think out of the box. Okay, maybe this can be a positive, or let's engage in more conversation rather than immediately something happens, it's a condemnation. Let's bring it down. No, it's not right. And if our own person is there, if it is Mr. Obi that was president now, would he have the same attacks? Or if it's Mr. Atiku, would he have the same attacks? I want us to discuss issues and see how we can make the best of whatever is happening and not become too more emotional or personal. You know, all these people will pass away. We have to live with the fact that there's no power. So let us talk about no power rather than it is somebody in Aso Rock that is doing it.
Okay, quickly, Steve. I've asked you to unmute now before I come to Professor Grinch.
Pastor Grinch, please, I have just 5 minutes. I have to go to the mosque. I have 5
That
minutes.
is what I was saying, that we'll do this thing quickly and shortly. Okay, Steve, you had him. He has only 5 minutes.
Sharp. Thank you, Mr. Faruq. Okay, thank you. And I just want to go straight to the point. Okay, I'm speaking from the place of pain, all right. And as a resident and as a citizen of this country, I based in Rivers State. Port Rivers State. So I want to ask you a question based on what you said. Maybe mention of Mr. President, maybe Mr. Strategy or a strategy, something like that. Okay, I want to dwell on that right now. Okay, last year something happened in my state. Okay, where an elected government, democratically elected government was suspended for 6 months due to the fact they had some imbroglio, some kind of disagreement with the so-called godfather, the current minister of the FCT. And the president backed me. Mr. President gave the FCT minister support that they did all they did in my state. Like I said, governance was stalled in my state for 6 months. So, I speak for the place of pain. I want to know, was that part of the strategy for Mr. President's re-election? Because I want to know. I'm not hating Mr. President policy, whatever he's doing, but I just want to know, was that part of the strategy for his re-election, or what? As a legal, as a barrister, was that really okay for the president to open that to happen in my state?
Okay, all right, Steve, he's got the question. Yeah, thank you very much. Faruq, just 1 minute. Let me take Professor Grinch. Let us just throw in a question quickly.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Professor Grinch, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Pastor Sonny. And thank you, learned barrister, for not doing the boala on us. I think you tried very hard to balance your criticisms, and that's very, very much appreciated. My first question has to do with monitoring. You spent quite a bit of time trying to show us how well the government was doing, but we are not monitoring scientifically. So monitor whatever it is they're doing. You must have a baseline. What percentage of the youth that need the services are getting those services? What percentage of those who need to get education are getting education, and particularly the loan and all that? So we must be very scientific in how we present our data. Secondly, you also mentioned that what we needed would be security and economy and security. I want to add a third one. Of course, we can add so many, but the third one has to do with transportation, interstate and intrastate transportation. One of the problems that, the haphazard nature of transportation has caused is preventable accidents, preventable deaths from accidents. And honestly, if we are not careful, the cause of death in Nigeria is going to be overtaken by accidents. So this is very important. Finally, I think, you talked so much about economy, etc., and all that. Let's say that we are not really operating our constitution the way it should operate. That is the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. They are not relating to each other. So please just tell us what is to be done about that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So quickly, as you wrap up, sorry to have kept you longer. Go ahead.
Perhaps I want to clarify Professor Grange's last question regarding the arms of government. I didn't quite get that, man.
Which one? The arms of government say they are not working together in synergy.
Okay, they're not working together in synergy. Okay. So I'll start from Professor Grange's questions. So I agree with her regarding the issue of monitoring in terms of being scientific in approach, and why I agree is that when we have this data, that's part of what will convince Nigerians to know that, okay, what is the effect of all these things? What is the impact? How many people are getting it? How many people need to? I think that's quite correct, and it's a feedback that is well taken. And regarding the issue of adding transportation to it, yes, the reason why I mentioned economy and security is based on is it Bernard Shaw, this former president of America, his philosophy of trying to change his values and taking one value per week. So I realized that when government just come and they say they have 7-point agenda, 10-point agenda, all those agenda, eventually by the time you rate them, they don't get any pass mark in all these 10-point agendas. So it's better, let's just even focus on these two first of all and let's move. And I agree with you that transportation is also very, very important. Then regarding the issue of synergy between judiciary, legislature, and the executive, I actually believe that the synergy between the legislature and the executive, in my point, I think is even too friendly. I think it's almost anything the president brings goes. And I feel like it should, the kind of legislature I like is President Bukola Saraki's Senate presidency, where the president will have to think twice before coming, where there can be serious debate. But this time around, I think that even the legislature, they are working, they are not as active as I believe they should be. So in terms of the three arms of government having the synergy, I really don't know how to address that because my view is a bit contrary to Professor Grandy's own, because I feel like the synergy is even too much between the executive and legislature.
I agree with you. I wanted the opposite, actually.
Yes, exactly. The opposite, exactly. Yes. So I think we want a viral legislature. That's right. Where when the president even brings something, you can criticize it and say no. Not that when they dump something on your table, you try to implement that and you start asking as a spokesperson for the executive arm of government. I don't think that is appropriate. So I think we're on the same page on that. Then regarding Steve's question, on suspension of Governor Fubara, I mean, I made it clear. All my friends know it. I told them I don't agree. Yes, the president has the power to declare a state of emergency in a state, but I don't agree that the declaration of state of emergency suspending Governor Fubara, I don't believe that it was legal. Although the Attorney General of the Federation said yes, it's in line with the Constitution, but the NBA said it wasn't in line with the Constitution. I also align with the NBA's view. I don't know, the president might have some other reports that we don't have, but personally, if I were to advise from a point of law, I would say it was not a legal step to have taken. Regarding the issue of whether it's a strategic point, I don't speak for the president. I don't know his state of mind, so I don't know whether that's strategy or not. So I'm sure I can't comment regarding that. Then Mrs. Kuti talked about the issue of toxicity. How can we reduce the issue of toxicity in politics? I think is a very, very important point. And I think about this regularly. As a matter of fact, I think I read an article recently in the New York Times or somewhere where they talked about how the use of profane languages is becoming the norm, even in America, in their politics. And this don't used to be the case. And they were trying to talk about how it's not a good practice and all that. And in Nigeria too, I'm beginning to see it, and I try to speak against it. And there's a quotation by Obafemi Awolowo when he was a child. He said, to laugh at deformity is enormity, like making jest of someone. So I believe in just talking about your ideas, criticize their actions, but don't criticize the person. And that's always my style. I will not come for you I don't believe it doesn't even, as a human being, apart from even our Yoruba culture, even as a decent human being, you don't have to abuse me as a person. You can say the action I did was wrong, or is not appropriate, or this, or is not in the interest of the people. But when you start attacking people personally and calling them names, it's not something that I subscribe to. And that is why something like the Boala thing could happen to Boala. You can criticize someone, I can be on the other side. But since I've not come against your person, if it's about policy and all that, we can always discuss that. So I don't know what we have to do about that. Maybe we just have to keep on enlightening ourselves, or maybe the political parties should talk to their aspirants and tell them, be careful about the way they talk and all that. But even in Lagos, we are too charged. Any small thing in traffic, people just start calling words, So some of us, maybe it's the trauma, maybe we need therapy. In Nigeria, we don't usually use therapy. So I don't know what the solution to that problem is. But I agree with you, Ma, because if you come on Facebook in Osun State, abusing people, abusing their fathers, abusing their mothers just because of politics. Some people can't even come out for politics just because of that. Some people cannot even post on social media just because of that. So I don't think we should get to that level. So I don't know, that solution is beyond my own power. I don't know what to prescribe but is a source for concern, because the younger element will start thinking that when you want to be a politician now, you must abuse the president, you must abuse the governor, you must insult this person, and it's not appropriate. Then she said, how do we engage at the local level? Yes, I've always maintained the same stance. I just came back from my hometown on Monday. I did a Ramadan lecture in my hometown, in my house on Sunday in my hometown, and I hosted over 600 people in my hometown. I gave them food, we broke fast, we invited Islamic clerics to give us lectures. I didn't have to go to my hometown to go and do that. But that's my own way of connecting with the people. And after the Ramadan lecture, I give them my own personal message. They come to my house, I invite them, I talk to them. So if I have a political message for them, if I invite them, they will listen to me. If I have my charity to do, as Muslims, as we are fasting now, we have Zakatul Fitri. You have to distribute charity before your fasting ends. Instead of doing it in Lagos, I've given somebody money to do it for me in my hometown. So anything we are doing, if you have educational project I want to do, instead of doing it in Lagos or in Abuja or in Port Harcourt, let's go to the grassroots and let's be consistent. Most Nigerians only embark on charity or buying jam form for people when they want to run for elections. So people at the grassroots don't trust them anymore because they see it as a transactional business. But if they know that this person comes consistently without asking for anything, when it's time for election and you tell them where to go to, they will listen to you. So we just have to be deliberate and consistent in our approach. And let's not think about Nigeria. I've always said that for the past 10 years. Think about one local government. When you dominate one local government and you've conquered, then move to another local government, then move to another local government. When we start jumping up and down states, you will just be dissipating effort without achieving anything. So me, if anybody tells me they want to do free medical, this free medical, something, I tell them, oh, I have somebody from my hometown. I'm always looking out for my hometown. I'm always looking out for my local government. I fight for my community at every point in time when I have the opportunity to do so. So if I have any outreach, I'll bring, and if you want to do anything in my local government, I can bring you down to my local government. If you have any program or any seminar or any webinar, I go back home regularly. So they will listen to me when I talk to them because they know that I'm always there for them. So that's the way we should also do it. And when we do all those things, then we are going to increase our networking with them and they will listen to us more. Then we can change their way of thinking and it can influence them one way or the other. So let's not just only focus on the urban areas or the states where TVC and Arise newspaper will come and Arise television will capture us. Let's go to the grassroots and be consistent with them. If we do that, we're going to cover a lot of ground because that's what the politicians do. They reach out to all those people, they keep their contact, they transfer monies to them. So on election day, they will listen to them. So thank you, Pastor Nebi. I think I've covered all the grounds very well, sir. You're muted, Pastor Nebi, you're muted.
Thank you very, very much. Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. Pastor Icho, I bring you back to wrap up and close us.
Thank you so much. See what my people have done. You have to take off.
I'm sweating under AC, under air conditioner. I'm sweating. I feel like a boy
they almost boilerized you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for everything. We all mean well. We all want a better Nigeria, and we must get a better Nigeria. And we're all going to work towards a better Nigeria. Thank you for your kindness to join us. I know the notice might have been a bit short. Thank you for your frankness. Thank you for your hard work and your consistency. Lord bless you and empower you. Just to tell you, we are having the Itwai Godalo colloquium on Thursday, the 9th of April at 11 a.m.
Okay, sir. I'll make it, sir.
Please try and make it.
Yes, sir.
And inviting everyone on the platform also at Trinity House by God's grace, so that we can also look at the future of Nigeria, the future of Nigeria, the future of Nigeria. We must work hard towards this future, and each one of us must play our own part in trying to make Nigeria great again. If you sweep your compound, sweep in front of your house, the whole town will be clean. And we must know the things we'll accept, the things we'll not accept, and what we should do, including obeying traffic laws and paying our taxes. God will help all of us in Jesus' name. So to our Muslim brothers and sisters, I know you all want to go and do your last breaking of fast, so we'll let you go. Faruq, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Everybody, and I want to thank everyone for being here. Sonny, thanks a lot. We and I will talk later. I'll call you, and we'll take it from there. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Yes, all right. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
All right. Is Faye there? Can you disable the YouTube and allow everybody to unmute for the after party? I think we all can unmute now. Can we all unmute? Okay. Everybody can talk now.
Okay. How do we talk? Hello, everybody.
Okay. So,
Thank you. Thank you very much for the wonderful session.
Thank you
It's quite
all for coming
Thank you,
on
sir.
today.
Thank you. The
Thank you,
education, the
everybody.
enlightenment, and all.
Yeah,
yes.
you're welcome. Sorry, Auntie Emisi, last week you were talking when the thing went off. I think I should stop handling this thing.
No, you are doing very well, Pastor Sonny. Don't worry. this is.
I mean the after party.
It's the internet.
I don't manage the after party well, like Jumoke.
No, it's
But Jumoke
okay.
will be around next week, yeah.
It's okay. Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, you are dressed as though you're in the tropics, Pastor Sonny. Where are you?
I'm dressed as if I'm in the tropic, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, I may be in my village.
That's good. That's good. I thought maybe you were not in Nigeria, but you are
I
in
think this is
Nigeria.
the way the way our politicians should dress so that they look smart and stop going about in Babariga and
exactly. You know.
are not smart to do the work.
Well, you know, one should find out really how is their work evaluated? How much work are they actually doing? You know?
Oh, Jesus.
They're doing a lot of work. Oh. All these midnight
For where?
meetings they are having.
What
All
kind
these
of work?
up and down, looking for the
Chop,
right
chop, chop.
contract manager to give the money to. Of work.
That's for their pockets. That's for their pockets.
People
Oh,
don't realize
seriously?
that being a politician
Madam
is a lot of hard work.
There's
So
nothing like
it
that.
is
Please,
You
A lot of hard work.
TMC,
Madam,
stop making a case
you've
for them.
answered.
It's nothing like,
She has answered. She said they do up and down. Now up and
They
down,
do.
then
They are doing Igbadun work.
up and down.
It's not Igbadun
Up
work.
and down.
You have to be realistic.
It should be made a pattern.
If they
let
are
me tell
really
you.
hard working, we will see the effect and the impact of
Exactly.
Let me tell you something.
Politics should be
that's
made a
exactly
pattern.
The people that harass these politicians most are the people who should be championing the cause of the people. The traditional leaders are pressuring them. The leaders in the communities are pressuring them. A lot of the money that you think the politicians are stealing, it is to give to these leaders, these traditional leaders, or these Abass, these Ezes, these community leaders,
serious. Why
and all of
why
that.
would they steal money to give to Abass? Don't Abass have their statutory income?
No, they want
They are
them
just
to
hiding under the
the
guise.
problem
The
is
What I'm
intention
telling
to
you,
loot
you are
is
not
there.
addressing my problem.
No, the problem is
Because
that even though when they steal the money
Let's
and give
speak
it,
one at a time, please, so that we can all hear each other. Thank you.
you see the challenge, because I'm watching them and I see that okay, if the House of Rep member has organized a program for artisans, for instance, to distribute equipment and stuff like that, the traditional leaders demand money from them because these traditional people, religious leaders, are the ones who mobilize the people. The people don't trust the politician. The people trust the traditional leader, they trust the religious leader, and these politicians know that without the endorsement, the support of these other so-called leaders, these shadow people in the shadows that we are not attacking, we're always attacking the politician. These other people in the shadows who are putting pressure on them, who they cannot survive their political career without. That is what I'm saying. We who are civil society should go beyond just the optics of what we see, that the politicians are this, the politicians are that. And even talking to the people themselves. I know a politician who was a senator in Jebu or something. After one term, says he's not doing again because all the time he spent, the people are coming to him in droves, school fees, burial, this, that, and that. So let's look holistically at how we make it a system where the politician will do what he's supposed to do because there are no other encumbrances on him. We do this and you must do it. So that's what I'm just saying. Let's look more broadly at the system we have and where we can make it work so that whoever we elect, that even that people who are honest and hardworking will be attracted to go into politics because they know they can, be honest, they can do the work that they're supposed to do as for the benefit of the people, and they will sink or swim. They will not have to steal. They will not have to be honest. They will not have to go and kill somebody or fight somebody to remain in office. I'm just saying let's have a broader look at the system and see how we can engage with it and where it is we can, put some other elements in to make it more effective for us. That's what I'm just saying.
Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a system. Everybody is just looking out for himself or herself. That's the problem.
But we have to change it. You can't just say there's not a system.
It's not a system.
There is a system. There's a system. It's just not working the way it's not.
Well, if it's a system,
so we have to change it. That's what I'm saying.
It's not articulated. It's not well articulated. It's not a kind of system that is recognizable.
Those of us living here, we recognize it now. Those of us living here, we see it, we feel it every day. We can tell you all about it. We can write a thesis about it.
Well, please write because
we know how the system
I need to be able to read it to believe it because nobody.
You as a you see, that's what I love about partnerships. You are an academic person, so can you please take it as your responsibility to write the thesis about the system so that people can understand it better. There's something that when I was researching corruption in the United States when they were at our level and the system that operated them, it's actually online. Just Google it. Corruption in the United States and the legal processes that they had to use to overcome and get to where they are. Even though they are not 100%, they're still fighting corruption in the electoral system, corruption, rigging. It's still there. But what did they do? The steps they took to come away from the massive, unregulated system that they had before. So you can help us by writing your own thesis about what we have at the moment. They have written theirs. It's online. You can learn from it.
Honestly, I think the media are not doing their work because they are the ones that are supposed to open this up. They're the ones that are supposed to tell us what is actually happening in the country. So I don't know that we can call it a system unless the media have brought it all out into the open.
Madam, how will that happen when the media is controlled and owned by the politicians? It cannot happen.
Oh dear. So
that's
somebody who knows the system is telling you
actually
what the
that's the
system
truth.
is.
Like what Auntie Yemisi just said. Okay, she's not far from the truth. Okay, I'll say based on experience. Okay, like the major issue that our political office holders are having, okay, actually the people, those surrounding them, okay, I'm saying based on experience, okay. My remember actually when he was elected, I was supposed to be one of his head. Even when he invited me to come over to Abuja, I couldn't go. He didn't see me. They invited me again, meeting my state. So when I got there, what I saw around him got me so discouraged. I was like, if this is how it is, I'm not going to be in the fold. So that's why I'm here where I am today. So the major issue that these guys are having actually the people around them, because governance in this country has been bastardized. I have to say the truth, right? So for you to like satisfy the people, man, you have to like I say I like saying this whenever I'm in the course of discussion with my friends. I said, for you to lead the people, you have to be one of the people. If you are not one of the people, there's no way you can lead the people. And that has it has a deeper meaning. All right. You must satisfy the people around you. Like what you say, the chiefs, the council, the minor boss, all of them, okay. You must satisfy their greed. You must, without that, you're out of it. That's how it's so I mean, the load on each political officer that it's loud. I'll say it loud. I'm saying it based on experience. So I don't even know how we'll be able to do away with this kind of stuff. I really, because sometimes I do think, okay, if I happen to be a public office holder today, how am I going to handle these issues? Because you must adhere, you must condone whatever they are giving. You must, because
Yes.
that's how the system is being built in this country, and it's bad. That's why most of the time you just say I don't really blame most of our political office holders. So I'll travel to most of the time I don't blame, because when I see things around there, I just laugh. I was like, man, when we talk about the credible election, it can never happen because people are ready to do all they can at the end of the day to get what they want. That's the issue we're having in this country. So I don't know how we are going to sanitize the system. I don't really know, but God will help us, sure. God will help us.
Also, I do think that the role of the traditional leaders is not all defining currencies. Perhaps if that is defined, maybe that will actually help in protecting the excesses. And some of these traditional leaders also seem to be more powerful than the system itself. So how do you really address that?
Yeah, but you see, what my own problem here is that it is all happening underground, and we ascribe failure to those who are sort of under pressure by those who are not recognized as part of the government. The traditional leaders are not part of the government.
President.
True.
They are part of the government, man.
Well, illegally, because it's not in the they're not in the constitution.
But those things that
Yeah,
are not in the
also,
constitution are stronger. Pastor, there is an experience that I have. Part of the issue we have is that the politicians are put under pressure by their people, and there's no relationship between crime and punishment. About 20 years ago, we did a survey. That was immediately after Obasanjo's regime. We did a survey in Kano. We gathered primary school pupils together. We now ask them that if you are made the governor, how are you going to administer the state? Are you going to help your people your family before you help the state? 100%, they said they will help their family before they help the state. Then we now say, okay, if your brother is made the governor, do you expect him to favor you in their word of contract? 100% say yes, they expect him to favor. Then we now said, okay, in the process of your brother helping you with this contract, the second day your brother is sent to Kano prison, will you go and greet him in the prison? They said no. Do you want him to go to prison? They said no. They said if that help will lead to prison, let him not do it. So there's no relationship between crime and punishment. Thank you, sir. That's
Yeah. You see, it just shows that they are not logical. There's no
Exactly, ma.
there's no rhyme or reason behind what
Exactly.
yes.
All they are concerned about is their individual benefits.
the
Because
Exactly.
if
benefit, yeah.
you are talking about contract and you just want it to go to your brother or family member, does that person have the capacity? Does the person have the
They don't
competence?
they don't care.
Can the person deliver? So it's all about what goes into the pockets of individuals. And as long as we are on that trajectory, I don't know how we want to get out of the woods concerning
So that is why I keep
mismanagement
asking,
and all
would
of
a
that.
one-party state work for us better? Because that is what primarily what they have in Rwanda, what they have in Singapore, what they have in China, those countries that we see kind of with the huge kind of problems that they have had in their trajectory. They survived because they had like a system where there's a strong person at the head who just commands everybody, makes sure everybody behaves. In Singapore, when I went there, I think even the speaker today was talking of if you throw rubbish out on the streets in Singapore, it's jail straight. It's a military.
Yeah, you're fined. You are fined first.
Auntie Yemisi,
we are going to. Let me just finish. Let me just finish my statement. Let me just finish that, at the stage we are at the moment, is it better for us to all be in one family where we can, check each other, the balance is between each one of us inside that party. When we are going for election, we will be voting for individuals, not party, because we're already inside the party. When you are born, you are registered as a political active person. I'm just saying,
I think we need to separate.
Can it work for us? Will it
I
work?
think we need to separate communism from democratic one-party state. They are two different things. It's like, communism is like military dictatorship. That's what it's like. And we moved away from there. So if we're going to practice democracy, then we should practice democracy. If we want to go back to a communism kind of government, then let the military take over.
No. We don't want military. We want our own cultural norms to be
improved military rule. The reason why some of us cannot even think of one-party state is because, that is not democracy. If we want to go the way of the fascists,
even the America is not practicing democracy now.
No. America is democracy is about it's tripod. You have the people in the left, you have the people in the right, and you
in
have
America,
the
vote of the people does not count. It's electoral. You can win the electoral.
Let me also finish my statement. So you have it is a tripod. The people in the right, they prefer less taxes. The people on the left, they believe, we need money to solve problem. The business people will tell you, no, we need to be efficient. We don't need so much money. So reduce the taxes of the people, and
we
a lot of
have
cultural
that kind
differences.
Of system here. We don't have those.
We have Tinubu is a socialist. He's on the left. That's why he's spending. That's why he's spending crazy. That's why the first thing he did was to buy a jet, three Boeing 747 that would seat 240 people. No, it's part of the ideology.
No. What I'm trying to say is.
Let me just land. It's part of the ideology. I'm not in that school of thought that believes that you spend money crazily. That is the way of the socialists, and that's why they're always raising taxes. That's why they're always having budget deficit. When the
all of them are
coming,
like that now.
Excuse me.
When APC or PDP, they are all the same.
Anyway, I cannot support that for my country. I can't live in.
We're not supporting it.
But that's what you're always saying now.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. No, that is not automatic. Is that are they spending money in Singapore? Are they wasting money in Singapore?
Is the president today, and we're going to do one-party state. That is socialism.
Wasting money in Rwanda? That is, you are talking of what an individual is going to do.
I think I subscribe to that one-party democracy. It is the best way because, look, if we had one state, Tinubu will be accountable. He will not be able to do what he's doing. He would have been thrown into jail.
Maybe you guys can live in China. First of all, go and live in China first, where you don't have right to your data. You don't have any privacy. That is when you know the meaning of
don't use China.
I'm totally against it.
Of course, now that is one party state.
I'm totally against it. We don't need it in this country.
Can you please speak one by one?
No, you guys have been talking. I canvass against one party system.
So you will put up your hands now to speak.
Yes.
This is great. You are the class captain. Nobody will speak unless you permit them.
Yeah, please let me just mind. Okay, sorry, okay. Like what is going on in the country today? Okay, we are tilting toward one party system, and I'm totally against it. In fact, offline, I canvass against one party system. That can never work in this country because there's no way you can hold the government accountable if we are operating a one party system. And what is happening right now in the country, it's so conspicuous that is exactly what we are tilting to, and it will never happen. We don't need communism in this country. It can never work here. If it works in China, it can never work here. It will cause chaos. That's my
Okay,
personal
we've heard
opinion,
you.
Sha. It will cause chaos. We don't need it.
We've heard you. Okay, next.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that we have been independent for how many years, and we are still debating whether we have one party or two party or whatever. Anywhere you are, and there is no punishment when you steal money. What I know is that I live in the US. If you're a politician, except for Trump, if you steal, if you do
Except
anything
for
wrong,
Trump.
no, for now. And that's why Trump is struggling, saying that he wants to win the next election, because he knows that if the Republican loses the next midterm, he's going to be impeached. A lot of stuff is going to happen. We know that.
Exactly.
We
So
know
many
that in that.
reversals.
Yeah, no. The costs are reversing him too. We know that in our country, if you're a politician and you steal money, you still get re-elected. In the US, it doesn't happen. That is the end of your political career.
For good.
They even send them to jail. So let us get the facts right. I think we have to go back to what Fela said a long time ago. He said demo crazy, demonstration of craziness.
Of grace.
And in China, sometimes they kill people, they execute them for stealing money. Let us call a spade a spade. Do you know about just time? Let me just say something. Do we know how much money we have spent on electricity? There was a $16 billion that that was budgeted for electricity. Do we still have it? But he goes around and he's still doing it. Okay, he wanted third term. It does not really matter what kind of system of government we have. There has to be accountability. There has to be transparency. You look at all these people. We know how much money they make as governor or whatever. Then you look at their assets. Okay, there's no way it can balance.
Okay, accountability.
And nothing has happened.
Let me now ask you a question.
No.
Let me now ask you a
You made your point.
You people advocating for one party state. Let me ask you a question.
Hold on. Mrs. Yemisi is in charge.
I'm not.
Hold on. You can't speak unless you are permitted by Auntie Yemisi.
I'm still talking. I'm just saying that when we have a system, someone wants to run for the presidency, and they have to get so much money to get the party ticket. When the head of the fish is rotten, what do you expect? Anyone can fight to run for presidency or for any office. In most civilized societies, in America, you don't need that much money to do it. But in our country,
so your main point is actually accountability and ensuring that there are checks and balances and there are consequences for actions.
Yes.
Now, Paul,
look at Dasuki. Look at Dasuki.
Thank you very
Dasuki
much.
was put in jail for a long time. Thank you.
Paul is the next person.
No, I'm the one talking.
Okay, who's okay, thank you, Mr. Paul. The next hand up is Abraham.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Mine is, I think the reason why most people are advocating for a single party state because we seem to have so many political parties that actually strain our energy. Like the analysis that they speak did, it is true that if it were not for the existence of PDP and Labour parties separately, perhaps the president wouldn't have emerged as the president. So maybe what we should be advocating for is two party system or three. Yes. The limitation of multiple parties. Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. Or the mom fixed it? Yeah, she did. Oh, good. Yeah. She had to change the code or something, you know. Right.
Okay, so you are advocating a two-party state like
I think
Baba
you
did for us.
change the code or something. Yeah.
Okay.
You know. But I feel the two-party state will be fine, but not the one-party system. Because
Okay.
that would be as good as no democracy.
Okay. Henry, do you want to now add your comments?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say, that one-party system is not democracy. You can't put everybody in one basket. People have their own different philosophy. People have their own different ideology. Just like myself, when I came to this country, I just thought, what is the ideology that aligns with my value system? I'm not the person that spends so much money. I'm quite conservative. I prefer to work in the shadows. I don't like wastage. So I can tilt towards the conservative naturally. The same way with anybody that feels that you need money to solve problems. I don't believe you need money, even though money is important. But that is not what you put first. You put first your planning, your processes. When you get that right, the right people to solve a problem, those are the things you need. Then money comes in. It's just like a businessman. You're trying to get a business, write a business plan, look at the things that you need to execute and make your business work. You look for the right people.
Okay.
You write your business plan, then you think of money. Money should be the last, but some people. So we shouldn't just narrow down our problem into just
Okay,
just
now
because.
my question to you is, what is the African philosophy? What's the Nigerian philosophy? What's the ideology that is indigenous to us, that fits the mindset of the average Nigerian, the average African? That, let's forget the Marxists, communists, and all the other Western philosophy. Let's come back home and really think deeply about what is the culture of the average person living in Africa, a Nigerian, a
Yeah.
Ghanaian, whatever, that we
So
can now build on.
So let me just answer it in a very simple way. My mom is an Egba woman from Abeokuta. My dad is a Bayelsan and a German. When I go to Abeokuta, I can see how people regard respect. Respect is everything. And when I go to my father's house, it's at times he doesn't even care if I kneel down if I prostrate to greet him. He doesn't really care. So that explains that we are different people. Nigeria is a collection of
Diverse.
different people with different values.
Sure.
So when you now want to put us together in one basket, it's going to be difficult. That's why people revolted when Tinubu messed up with the rivers emergency rule. The Niger Deltans don't like to be controlled. They enjoy their freedom, you know. But in the other part of the country, they might like to be controlled. That's their life. So when you want to put people in one basket as an ideology, it's going to be wrong, and it's going to boomerang. It can't work in Nigeria. It didn't work with our forefathers because they had options, they had choices. Choices is very important when it comes to human beings. But you can't restrict people to just one choice. It's not going to work.
I'm still not convinced that the party system that we're operating in Nigeria is ideologically based. It appears to have evolved from the individuals that espoused it. People followed Obafemi Awolowo's philosophy because that is Obafemi Awolowo. They admired him. People followed Zikwe because they admired him. People followed the Sadana because they had admired him. I haven't seen political ideologies evolve. People say, okay, the APC guys are progressives, and okay, what are the other guys? I am not seeing that unlike other places where you will be very clear about what these people stand for. We are not so clear what our own different segments of the society stands for. That's my question.
I believe really primarily, yes, we need to consider what we stand for. However, because of what is happening in the world, and we want our country to be able to compete and to make progress, there are certain things that we have to suppress culturally. There are, there are things we have to suppress ideologically, and we all have to be at the table to decide on those things. That is what democracy actually means. Being able to participate, to decide what is best for the community, what is best for the people. To think of democracy as not having an autocrat and not having this, I think it's a bit wrong. We need to define what we actually mean when we say it's a democratic government. And that's why we are very clear that our electoral system must be right. Everybody should be able to participate and choose who their leaders will be, So, but whether it's within a party or in one party or whatever, I don't really think that matters a lot. It can be one party, but you still choose your leaders,
So, but what I'm hearing is that we all believe that the ethos of the average African is freedom. We do not like to be controlled. Does it really fit in with the way we actually live? Do we have a system where we allow within our families, with our communities, that level of self-expression and freedom? And okay, somebody said liberation. Yes, I mean,
it's not freedom alone. That's what I'm saying. That we cannot follow just one set of values that we think belong to us. We have to have a balance. We must look at everything, what is possible within the current geopolitical dynamics or whatever. So this is everything evolves. We have to evolve, actually.
Yeah, we should look at what we have.
Yes.
Let's forget what everybody else has and actually decide within ourselves what we want.
Exactly.
Someone called TK has their hand up. Who is that? TK?
Hello, it's me, TK.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I'm actually abroad, but I used to be in Nigeria. And when you talk of politics, I just keep quiet because in 2007, I was working for KPMG in Europe. I came to Nigeria and I was told by the board of directors of APC for one of the biggest constituents in the country, just put your name, you'll be MP. I told the Baba, Baba, I'm not a chairman. How do you guys in Nigeria do your stuff that I can just show up? And before I knew anything, because my dad, even though we're not from Lagos State, we were from Osun, but my dad was entrenched in SDP that time, and it was APC because my dad was popular in that area in Aige, and basically it's like, and he was an auditor he used to be an auditor with African Petroleum, so he saved the community from money, landlord association. So because of that, they said let his son. I had to follow my dad's path. Let his son come in. I said no. And I didn't want to go into details. Something that happened when they spoke to me. What would have happened? What was going to happen to somebody similar to me of my age mate? I said, Baba, this is what you want me to enter. I beg, I reverse.
Please tell us what
another
you was going to happen
entirely.
to you.
Now let's talk about the a local guy Madam, you might be APC. Me, I'm neutral. I've escaped from the country.
No, I am.
There was a local
Everybody
guy
knows
who
me.
had
I'm a
an
free
hotel.
thinker.
I don't know.
I'm an independent. In fact, I want to start a party called the
I tell you
Independents.
what, the meeting,
Those who are not
was
aligned to any party.
that
We
allergy,
just want the right people in power. So
that
please go ahead.
allergy, yeah, that allergy was Obasanjo's classmate. Perhaps that's when I knew the true age of Obasanjo, because they were classmates. So forget about that 89. Obasanjo is not 89. Lie.
What is it?
I saw his picture in Madam, I will not go near, because even Obasanjo was a friend of boyfriend Egbon Mommy mi ni Obasanjo. Egbon Mommy is let me even tell you, Egbon Mommy is closest friend to Mrs. Esho that died. So you know you already know who I am.
Give us the date.
Closest friend.
No coding.
Obasanjo is in 90s.
Okay.
Let's just leave it like that. This is not the case for talking about Obasanjo. Let me finish what I'm saying. So basically, it's like my mom's elder sister died at 93, and she's probably one of the biggest girls in Ibadan. So she cannot go out with somebody younger than her.
Okay.
Anyway,
Right.
that's another story.
Another story.
Now
That's political age.
Now the thing is, let me talk about the politics. Let's talk about this politics thing. Now the thing is like, I like the question that was raised, Madam, when you said that which one is good for Africa. Now we have to look up from where we're coming from. Initially, we had 6 regions. To me personally, I've always said we don't need senators. Look, I was living among these guys in Abuja. When I came from London, I moved to Abuja. I did not come to Lagos. My dad and my parents were in Lagos. I went inside Abuja. I stayed in Asokoro. I stayed among everybody, all these people, all these governors. We were living I was staying in one of the military top guys' backyard in Asokoro, facing Igbinido's house. Now, what happened is like, I studied them and I said, number one, we don't need Senate. As an auditor, I felt Senate to today, Senate should not be in a government. We just copied and lifted America, and we don't want to behave like America. Number one, we don't need any senators. So the question that came up, that Madam raised, that what is good for us? Number one, we need to find out what is good for our own culture. Forget about America. Number one, I saw that we don't need senators. The House of Rep is enough, just like you said, one House of Rep is enough for each local government, or should I say a state, is enough for a state. We don't need senators at all. They should just cancel senators out. Then the next thing we need to do, because it's actually the House of Rep that are doing more job than the senator. If you audit those guys, it's the House of Rep that are doing the job. And these senators, there's one time we calculated the budget of this House of Rep. I'm telling you, of the senator and the House of Rep. Do you know they hand about 50% of the budget? You guys don't know what is happening. They hand those 700 people, what they hand. It's enough to destroy. So until when that is done, look, I have a forensic audit background. I won't tell you some of the things I did in that Abuja, that if they catch me, they might even kill me. So that is it on the thing. We need to, number one, the Senate has to go. We need to find out what is good for us. Yeah. And that's it. We have to go back to region, the 6 regions. Forget about these 30-something states, all these rubbish things. It's not going to work. Then I've always, look, it is not called communism. We have to think what is good for us. To me, a one-party state under 6 regions, a one-party state under 6 regions, before you come out of that region, for instance, if Tinubu was in the old Western state, Tinubu would never have come out to get to the position he got to. People don't know that there's governance in the old 6 regions. You cannot stop the nobody and with criminal record to come and rule the country. And you have area boys to running ring. It will never happen. So let's go back to the source. Forget about just like Madam said, forget about democracy, whatever you call it. What is good for Africans is regionally based. It is the best that will come out. That's why I wonder what was able to do very well. And that's why Sardana, even though I don't like Sardana for his right-wing and ideology. It was the best they had in the North at that time. Similarly, Zeke, it was probably one of the best they had in the East. I will not say it's the best in the East, but he used his Lagos influence to cajole the East. So those are the things that we need to learn. Now, another thing, for instance, I know Madam mentioned about solar. When I was during the time I was in Nigeria, I was in the board of all this power. I have a postgrad in energy apart from other things, and I designed systems. Madam, we don't need solar. I pushed for it. Why? Look, that's why I left the country to rethink myself before I come back.
What do we need?
We already have gas, madam.
Okay.
We already have gas. For instance, Owando has pipeline. Do you know Owando has pipeline?
Hello.
Almost. Even
How
though
are you guys?
Let me finish. Let me finish.
I hope
We
you are
have gas,
enjoying
and when you
your
have
break.
gas, and when we have gas, it's just a matter of having gas turbine. With gas turbine, are you hearing? With gas turbine, we will all have light for cheap.
Kind of just hold on.
Please mute yourself. Somebody is having a personal conversation.
Did you have visitors there?
What?
If you have visitors or
Mute yourself.
Can you mute yourself
should
so
I,
that you can hear
should I
the person
continue?
that is speaking?
Oh, that's
Please
why you're not
continue.
wearing
Please
your
continue.
glasses?
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus.
Do you like it?
Today,
Sorry, hold on.
Who is
Are you able to
liking
take
what?
care of
Please.
it?
Hold on.
Just a second. Wika.
Who is speaking?
Oh.
Please, can you mute yourself if you
Oh.
are speaking to other people so that we will not disturb the conversation?
Exactly.
All right. So, Mr.
Okay,
TK,
I'll continue now.
Yes.
Most of the time, I was in all this power, NEPA devolution, blah, blah, blah. I used to attend all those meetings in Abuja. We used to hold it in one place and we say, if anybody, other person was there, we used to have all those meetings. Even the guy was the minister. I was close to him because it was from Osun State. The Baba Lola, was it Baba Lola, whatever it is. So I know some of his family. Bottom line is when they come to the cheapest thing in Nigeria today is gas. So, and people don't know that by the time you do solar, you have sold out the country. Number one, we don't need solar. I tell people, I don't want to even start it. No, we don't need solar panel. People don't know we don't need solar panel at all. In Nigeria, we don't need a single solar panel.
Have you know that the government,
telling you.
Mr. TK, you know that the government has just set up this 11-man panel to look into the power sector. And Professor Oki, who is a member of that panel, is saying the very things that you are saying.
Okay.
That the structures, the policies that were in place did not include the gas element in the power sector. So that they are trying to do that now. So what I would like to advise you to do is send a advisory to that committee. If you don't know how to reach them, what ALG is
for the
all
last
about.
5 years,
For
the last 5 years, I've not landed in Nigeria. I have had enough of Nigeria.
So you just want to bend our ears.
My family will not even want me. They will not want me in Nigeria. My family.
We're not asking you to come to
I've
Nigeria.
said I will not step in Nigeria.
We're not asking you to come to Nigeria. If you are one of us here, the reason we're here, a lot of us can just be, enjoying ourselves, particularly those with gray hairs like myself and Professor Grange. We're only here because we think we can add value. We think we can still help one way or the other. So what we're asking you to do is to write something that we can present to this committee, if you cannot write them directly. Okay. We're not asking you to come home. Please enjoy yourself over there. You've chosen to be there. Everybody has a choice to be there. So please just write something that we can present to this panel so that they can also use it to effect. I will post the interview that Mr. Prophet Dr. Okay, is it Femi or something? Okay, gave on channel the other day. I'll post it to the group, and other people can also, see whether they can add something to, because they apparently are going to work like a private sector institution,
Okay.
so that they are not under
Yes,
government.
better.
To make it something that will actually work
But
and cut down
madam,
on the waste and all of that. So please send us something that we can also use to progress the argument for solar energy. Well, I think that was the last
Not for solar.
contribution to
solar
this
is a
debate.
scam. Solar
Okay,
is a scam.
we,
Solar is a scam.
we got it. A lot of people will have to use it because most of these things are an emergency. Nigerians, people who are in business, who are living in rural areas, they have no choice but to look for something that will support either their business living in the immediate term, in the next 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
Government
You're
sorts out
right, in the immediate time. But
arrangement it has. So let's have as many contributions as we can while people are looking for these alternatives. But by the time we spend another couple of years working the system, we should be able to come up with something that works. As it is now, there is an improvement in power supply. It's just that the reporting is always, it's not there. Most areas are already organizing themselves differently and are connecting, and there's some expansion in through the discos or whatever it is. We see some of them working different communities. The rural electrification ministry is doing massive work, in the rural areas. So, but there's so much work. I think we should just focus on where any one of us can and add value. So thank you very much for that. Is there anybody else who has something to say?
Yes, it's me again, Paul. I just want to say, Paul.
It's Paul again.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just want to tell TK, thank you so much. I've been saying that stuff for a long time. The Nigerian government system is so expensive. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. We have to do something. And I know where he's coming from. I think I sent him a message too. I would like to get in touch with him so that we can discuss some more.
Yes, please. And the two of you can, because we need more voice. You can't wait for government to have a conference or
let me see here.
Or a national, I know the Patriots are asking for a national. You know what we did as the CSOs when they didn't want to have the national conference before, is we had this Pronaco thing. I think you can all remember. We had the Pronaco conference where the people were able to make their submissions. Now it may not always work, like magic, and it in fact it's never going to work like magic. But every little contribution that is made builds on something that can be utilized at some point. So the two of you, please get together and come up with some concepts, some a document that we can use to advance the conversation around the political reforms that we want and popularize it. It's when people, you have enough of these conversations and it goes out, it goes viral, people are talking about it, people are beginning to say, oh, yes, this makes sense, blah, 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 that we begin to get that consensus around the areas that we want people to focus on. And if you are, advocating this regional thing, whatever it is, can you please come up with something that we can use instead of just talk? Some documents.
I sent TK a message. Did you get the message, TK?
No, I didn't. Hold on.
I sent it on the chat stuff because I like to get your number. Where are you? Are you in the US or are you in London or where are you?
Hold on. I need to unmute. Hold on. Let me just unmute. Where's my?
Just go to the chat box.
Oh, sorry. I didn't get it. But if you ask Pastor Eto'o, he asked my number. I can't see the message you sent to me. I can't.
Okay. Are you also in the ALG
No,
WhatsApp groups?
no, I'm not. I think is TK a member of the ALG group?
No, they hide myself. Oh. No. I did some things that even on national security, I was involved, and from nowhere, NTA interviewed me, and I didn't know it was NTA, only to show up at 9 o'clock. And some of the things I did, I have to run. And when you involve in things that involve national security, you have to run, man. So
No problem. We get you.
But did you see? Did you look in
you
the
say
chat
that Pastor Enebi has your number, right?
No, I'm saying
he has my number. He knows me. I've been to his office like 2 times. I actually brought an investor from abroad from Australia to talk to him. We're going to that time. We're trying to.
Enebi's number.
So you're in Australia.
Please send.
No,
your...
I'm in London. No, I'm in London.
Okay.
But I brought
think
an
he's in the
Australian
UK.
investor.
Okay.
I'm in UK.
Please send your advisory to him.
Did you see the chat? Did you see the chat? PI, I said, TK, you are making more sense.
What did you say in the chat?
He says you are making sense.
Yeah, I said you're making the most sense.
I saw the PI.
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
saw that one. I saw that one.
Can you send me that can I? But well, since you two
Pastor
everyone,
Enebi will connect the two of you. Okay.
Okay.
All
no,
right.
I know. No, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see whether I can respond.
I have a mutual friend with Professor. So
which professor?
I think she's told me about it. Professor Nike.
Okay.
Oh, really? Who is this?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Do I have your number? You want to send me? Do you want to send me your email or number or whatever? I don't.
No. I will tell you. You know Mr. Atobatele, don't you?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yes. Yes, I do.
He lives in
Ikeja
GRA.
Okay. So
he's my in-law. If you ask him for Tokumbo, he will tell you.
Mommy Grange is in the UK.
I'm in the UK right now, actually.
So TK, you cannot put your number on this chat.
He's mentioned you before. Yeah. If you ask Pastor,
I don't know the pastor. Someone invited me here about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I got hooked to it. I'm in the US, so
well, we would like you to remain with us. So
I know that, but what I'm saying is that let me see here. I need to get in touch with TK because he just said it's as if he hacked my brain.
Do you have Pastor Enebi's number?
No, I have Francis. You know Francis Achike, right?
No. Well, we know him on the group. I'm trying to get somebody that can connect the two of you.
Yeah, you know Jumoke, right?
Yes.
Paul, do you know Jumoke?
Yeah. Well, I know Jumoke through. No, Achike knows Jumoke, but Jumoke does not know me 100%.
So the two of you can connect through Jumoke.
No. The only person I know on this group is Pastor Itwa. He's the only one that has my number. But I know that Professor Nike Grange, because Mr. Tobatella has mentioned Professor Nike's name to me before. So that's how I got, but I always kept quiet because there's nothing linking us together. And Tobatella is actually my in-law. He's a junior brother.
Pastor, I think Pastor Enebi is still on the platform.
Let me.
It's easy. You can connect to Mommy Grange through Pastor Itwai Godalo. Straight.
Well, I don't know. I don't know him.
Let's try and do a more direct.
I'm trying to do.
Paul, can you chat?
I'm trying to do if I can.
Can you chat TK directly? Send him a direct.
You know what? I'll give you my Yahoo email address. So if you can, text, I don't normally give.
Okay.
Which is very simple. It doesn't have my name. It doesn't have my name, so that will save me. It's IFE.
Okay, let me get that. Go ahead. What's your Yahoo email?
ifetec@yahoo.com.
IFETEC. So IFETEC.
That's India Freddy Echo Tango Echo Charlie.
Okay. Hold on. Right. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna email you now. So you know it from me. Can you get your email? Okay.
Yeah, I'm in front of it.
IFETC@yahoo.com.
Okay, I think we have done a very good marriage today. I think we can all clap for ourselves. And
well done.
Look forward to many children from all.
We have got one more disciple.
Okay. Did you get it yet? I just sent it to you.
Yes,
No, not yet.
These are the kinds of energies we want to stimulate on the platform.
I just said this is me, and the email I sent you.
Hold on. I think I know why the laptop needs to be refreshed.
I don't want to lose you.
No.
This one is
once you have God, you have everybody.
I know.
I'm still waiting for your stuff. You know what?
Yeah,
what
I did send you. I
is
said,
yours? If you can give it.
I'm waiting for it. It's a Gmail. It's a Gmail account.
I got it. Oh, sorry. Your name is.
No.
Don't
That's my name. I don't want them to know.
Nothing is going to happen to you. You are safe on the platform.
Okay.
I'm not going to say your surname. No,
I know
way.
That's good. I won't
say your surname.
So, you know my
I told
right?
you I come from security
Okay,
background.
guys. I think we've had a
very,
very fruitful evening.
After party.
Thank you, guys.
All these.
All right. Thank you all very much. God bless you. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Auntie
Yemisi
and everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
With you all.
Thank you, everybody.
This is nice.
Have a wonderful evening. Thank you
so much, Auntie Yemisi.
Thank you.
Good night, Mommy Grange. Thank you all. Bye.
God bless you all. Thank you.
Man.
Hello.
It was really robust.
TK. Abotilo. TK.
Otilo. Otibe.
Don't worry, but you've got his email, so
yeah, and I just sent him my number too. That's fine. Okay.
And you can always connect through Pastor Nebi.
What's your name? What's your name? The lady talking.
I'm Miss Yemisi Ransom Kuti.
Oh, you know what? I will tell you a story. I went to a small school called St. Gregory's College. When I was in Form 2, I told my dad, because there was a guy that introduced me to Fela's music. So I told my dad, I said, I want to go to Sunday Jump because I don't have any money. So I was about 14, 15 years old. Do you know that my dad gave me money to go to the Sunday Jump? Because on Sundays, that is when Fela tries his new songs. So at that time, it was a really nightclub. And one thing about it is that my dad never said anything bad about Fela. Because my dad knew that I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do all of those things. But he liked Fela, he never complained about him. And if you play Fela's songs till today, you know that what he said many years ago is still true.
He was a Pan-Africanist.
Is still true. It's still true.
He predicted a lot of things happening now. He was a Pan-Africanist.
A lot of things. That's where actually they had a podcast that Obama's company did. It's called Fela Fear for No Man.
I've applied for another replacement.
It's on podcast. I love it. I defend him up to today.
Baba
Thank you so
Fela
much.
is respect any day.
He's respect. Everything he said. Everything he said is true. Everything that man said is true. It's a shame.
May he continue to rest in peace.
Amen.
No, he has. You see, that's why he was given the first African to be inducted in the Grammy stuff. There was a guy called Miles Davis. When he had Fela's music, he said that this guy is going to be he's going to be known around the whole world.
Yep.
And that is what is happening now.
We love and treasure Fela to bits.
No,
even in his
me, I treasure him more than you. I hate to say that.
In fact,
Yes.
when Auntie Yemisi was speaking, my name is Blessing. Hello, everyone. When Auntie Yemisi was speaking, I was like, what is it about this Ransom Kuti family that they're so passionate about this nation? Do you understand? Because see the passion with Auntie Yemisi, she's not just like, she really wants solution and she operates from the grassroots. And I was just thinking, what is it about this family that makes them really passionate? You know, and I think it's a good thing that other Nigerian families should adopt. They really want to get the pains they've gone through as a result of this. You know, imagine somebody's mom being thrown down. You understand? That within the family. But and then I also listened to Auntie Yeni on your view. It's the same thing. Is it when
exactly Yeni Kuti on your view?
I don't know. Maybe the same thing I tell us. I mean, what was it about the family that and
their ideology.
And also the mother. My grandfather is from Abeokuta. He's from Ikeriku. Yes, you know me. You know me. Okay. My grandfather dealt with Fela's mother when the Alake was left. It was my grandfather that did the negotiation. I just don't want to use my name. But you know my name later. You know my name. I'll get your number from what's his name? From TK. I just started to come on this stuff about 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago.
Come every week. It's a very robust platform. You will not regret it.
It is robust. I know. No, it is good. It is good. Thank you so much.
Auntie Yemisi Kuti, well done, ma.
Are you
the Kuti name flies on.
No, it can't go nowhere. I remember
exactly
when he played this song, for Fight. It was on a Sunday. It was on a Sunday at the nightclub. Then Fela was something. And
don't change
and the family is highly principled.
On just the trajectory of families and how they influence the generations that come up.
Yes, Made.
But
we have to have a whole session about that.
Exactly. You need to listen to that podcast. So there's that podcast. It's called Fela Fear for No Man. It's 14 series.
We're all like that.
No. Do you know about the podcast? It's called Fela Fear for No Man. If you go to your
Obama did, Abby.
Yes, the one that Obama did.
It was posted on WhatsApp to a lot of us.
Yeah, but did you listen to it? Did you listen to it or not yet?
I didn't.
You did?
I would love Auntie Yemisi to answer the question I asked. Paul, if you just pause for a bit, please. It's something that I think other families can learn from. What is it? Was it like when you were born? I mean, there's a series. How does that rub off on the family? Auntie Yemisi, please.
It's pedigree, background.
I have to do a whole session on that, but in short, in the culture of every family is what the children will imbibe. What are the principles that you set? What are the ethical values that you drum? Because at a very early age that people, the young people, in fact, young children learn how. I mean, it's not all. I mean, we didn't learn. It wasn't like 100% perfect. You know, some of the things that they taught us, we the children, when we grow up, we say no, that is not right. We want to do something different. The children of the pastors, none of them wanted to go into the religious circles. In fact, they condemned religion. You know, so it's a culture of being an independent thinker. of being, and whatever independent thinking you have, you must take responsibility for it. You're not allowed to be blaming other people. You are the one that took that decision. Whether somebody pushed you to do it is not, that is not an excuse. You are supposed to have you are the master of your own destiny. You're supposed to have the controls. You're supposed to be able to decipher when somebody says something. You're also to think about it. You don't just imbibe it and say, okay, that is wonderful and that's the way it must be. You all have the same brain. You must exercise that ability to be critical in your thinking, and also be able to say, I was wrong. If you come to a position that at the time you took that decision, it fitted into whatever the parameters were at the time. If you come up with, it's like a scientific way of thinking. You come to a stage where, better information has come in to allow you to change your position. Don't feel that you now have to lie and say, what I said then is I didn't say it. No, own it. I said it. This is the reason why I said it. I didn't have this information at the time. This is now my position. It doesn't make you a flake or somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. It makes you an authentic person, particularly if you can convince people the processes of how you came by those positions. So just briefly, that's kind of who we are. And everybody is independent. Although I'm the head of the family, I don't command anybody, but I'm hugely respected. Everybody respects me because also I respect them. They may be younger than me, but I don't talk to them anyhow. And they definitely will respond. And it's that a culture of lifting each other up, of building each other's capacity, of supporting each other that you find in our family. If somebody misbehaved, nobody in the family is going to support them. I think you all remember when Sheung got into trouble. He was allowed, nobody went to bail him out. He faced the law all by himself. So that's the kind of family we are. We believe in the culture of ethical behavior, and we want to live that way. So that's very briefly. There are lots of other things.
Principled,
Wow. Thank
high
you so much.
standards,
Let me say
great
thank you.
values. May the Kuti
I-
family keep riding on. Good night, Sister Yemisi, and
Thank you, my
everyone.
dear.
Bye.
Be ready to
Now, are you are
sacrifice.
you are you in Nigeria or
Ready to
you are in London?
sacrifice for what you believe in. Be ready to sacrifice for what you believe in. It's not supposed to be easy peasy.
Exactly.
So love you all. Have a
Good
wonderful
night, Ma. Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.